Cordell Transportation are now hiring Class A CDL drivers for home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight with brand new equipment, and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, company 401k. Plus, they're now hiring recent truck driving school graduates. Apply today. Online at CordellTransportation.com. Driven to succeed.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
All right, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome in. It is the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. I'm Justin Kinner. He's Kev Nash. Mr. Kev Nash, welcome.
What up, duh?
Off and rolling.
We are here.
I fixed the echo problem. I'm waiting just any second now for someone to say there's an echo, but I hit the button about 10 seconds into the show, so we should be good. Relax. It's a Monday, or I don't know what you call it. I mean, a Monday is after Sunday, which is considered a day of the weekend, which is a day that you don't work, but I don't know what that's like anymore. So
it's football season, man.
It's football season. There are worse times to be working, I guess. So there you go. But, well, let's just open up with this. The AFC North is a cluster, fill in the blank. I like chaos, and I was kind of pulling for your Steelers yesterday, kind of, because I just wanted the chaos of having four teams at 2-2, four different fan bases, all trying to argue that of all the 2-2, who should be the first place of the 2-2 teams. I got a kick out of that. Lance McAllister yesterday, he posted the standings in the AFC North and had the Bengals at 2-2, and then a bunch of people just ripped him because why are the Bengals at the top of the 2-2? I'm like, y'all just need to calm the hell down. It really doesn't matter who's
Browns are at the top.
The Browns are at the top. Thank you.
They have a division win.
They have a division win, yes. But the Steelers, that would have been interesting. They have a division win.
They would have been tied for first with the Browns, but the Browns beat them. So the Browns still would have been first.
It's just that it is what it is. But as we currently sit here right now, the AFC North, as we talked about, is a cluster. Dennis says first place, baby. Yes, I believe. Yeah, Browns, go Browns. So there's that. Or is it go Browns? What a disaster yesterday. So Thursday night football, the Bengals take care of business against the Dolphins 27-15. We have not been on the air since that Thursday night football game. I'm not going to spend a lot of time reacting to it, although they won yesterday despite not playing yesterday. The Bengals kind of got 2 wins in 1 week, if that makes sense. They got the win over the Bengals, or the win over the Dolphins on Thursday night, 27-15. And then, of course, they got a big win yesterday as, well, every team in the AFC North other than the Bengals lost in week 4. The Steelers, who at one point looked like they were about to take care of business against the Jets. Kenny Pickett comes in. He makes his NFL debut. A couple touchdowns, I guess, a couple interceptions too. Just we'll talk about that in a moment. They lose. The Browns, after only giving up 30 total yards rushing in the first half against the Falcons, gave up 170-plus total yards rushing, including a 75-yard touchdown drive by the Falcons. 10 plays, 75 yards, a touchdown in 5.5 minutes, all on the ground. Not one pass attempt. Marcus Mariota only completed 7 total passes on the night. 7-19. And he won. Anyway, that's pretty damn impressive. That's what it felt like to be a Browns fan the last couple of years. But it is what it is at this point. And then it's not, it is what it is. Then the Ravens, who, Lamar Jackson, so many people are spending too much time trying to defend the contract instead of looking at the fact that the Ravens, they're 2-2 and they have squandered double-digit leads in back-to-back weeks. This team should easily be undefeated. They should easily be looked at as the best team in this division right now. But there is not one team, although the Bengals have won back-to-back games. You've played 3 straight backup quarterbacks, technically 4 now that the backup quarterback Mitch Trubisky has officially been put in his original spot, the backup spot. The Bengals, you've beat absolutely nobody, so I'm not impressed with anything you've done so far, so just chill. At the same time, the Browns have not played anybody either. They're also 2-2. And the Ravens, who are the best team in this division, they're 2-2 as well. I don't know what to make of this. And the Steelers, who look like they could potentially have the number 1 overall pick when it's all said and done at the end of the season, is the way things are going right now. They were just a few minutes away yesterday of being 2-2 with the rest of the jokers in this division. So the AFC North, I don't know whether to laugh or cry, but it is bringing a lot of emotion. I tell you that much.
Okay, so I'll start from Thursday. For me, these are my key takeaways for the Bengals on Thursday night versus the Dolphins. The biggest takeaway for me with the Bengals is they only gave up 1 sack. 1 sack, and
3 in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So that is quality. I mean, that's ideal. I mean, you're playing pros out there to give up 1 sack. Perfect way to win a home game on a Thursday night in your cool white uniforms. That's the biggest takeaway from that. The biggest takeaway from the Cleveland Browns playing the Atlanta Falcons is, as soon as you think that the Browns have the passing game fixed, you look at what Amari Cooper's did in back-to-back weeks. You look at Njoku getting back involved in the passing game. Boom, they throw a stinker out there. 2 catches from Amari Cooper yesterday?
He was non-existent. It was week 1, Amari Cooper. Remember when I overreacted and wanted him traded? I want to trade it again, damn it.
So I look at that, and then it's kind of like, boom, Jacoby Brissett turned back into Jacoby Brissett with dirt balls on screens that potentially could have went 60 yards. And then obviously they're banged up on the defensive line, but for a team to go Fairmont and drive the ball down the field by simply running the ball over and over and over and over, it's a recipe for your backups on your defensive line to get tired and be out of gas. And the other thing that I take away from it, as big as a Denzel Ward fan as I am, even though he plays for a team that I can't stand, the Cleveland Browns, I think he's an elite cornerback. Not only does he get beat on a big play a few times that they actually pass the ball, but a 15-yard face mask penalty to go along with it. And the Atlanta Falcons just 1 penalty the entire day, while the Cleveland Browns, I want to say, they had 7 penalties. So those small things in the NFL game go a long way. So when we look at it on paper, we look at the stat sheet, we say, oh man, Cleveland Browns won this game easily. Time of possession, all these other stats and passing yards and rushing yards, But then you look at the stats columns that truly matter, penalties and turnovers, and penalties at the wrong time to set them up in position to kick game-winning field goals, crush them. And then you look at the Baltimore Ravens. Something has to be done out there with this analytical approach to football, because people are using analytics as if every team is constructed exactly the same.
Like baseball.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Okay, John Harbaugh, no doubt you're a great coach, but I think he's leaning way too hard into analytics by not kicking a field goal to take the lead. It'd be totally different if they were leading the game by like a point or something. Go ahead, take the lead, put your defense out there. You get a stop potentially, or if you give it up, but you have to take the lead. So when you come out here with all this analytical mumbo jumbo, every team's not constructed the same. This isn't the Ravens defense led by Ray Lewis. It just isn't. It hasn't been that since midway through last season. You can blame last season's bad defense on injuries. Well, guess what? A lot of these dudes are back, and they're not playing great defense right now. So it behooves you to take the lead and then put the pressure back on Buffalo, because when Buffalo gets the ball, they have no pressure because the game's still tied. They're not going to be taking risks to push the ball down the field and say, all right, man, we got to go get in field goal range, or, we got to go score a touchdown to win this game. So you basically show no confidence in your defense at all. And then Buffalo marches down the field, kicks the field goal to win the game. So I'm looking at that. And I do have to say this about Lamar in that game. You're going for it on 4th down. You can't throw an interception there, because that negates everything that Harbaugh is trying to do. You throw an incompletion or you get sacked, they're inside the 10-yard line. You throw an interception, boom, they're at the 20. So it's a lot of egg to go on the Ravens' face, coaching staff and Lamar, especially for throwing that interception in the end zone. So like you said, it's a lot of stink going on in the AFC North. And to go to my team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, we looked absolutely inept on offense. We get a gift field goal to go into the half against the New York Jets. New York Jets are leading the game 10-6 going into the half. And then what happens? They bring out Kenny Two Gloves, and the Kenny Pickett era begins with the Pittsburgh Steelers. His very first pass attempt, an interception. And all I could be thinking to myself is, this is exactly what Coach Tomlin is talking about. he's going to give you a lot of wild plays because he gave wild plays out there on the perimeter, getting the ball out fast, things that Mitchell Trubisky was not doing. But what Mitch wasn't doing was turning the ball over. And Kenny Pickett gave you three of those in the second half. And one of those set up the go-ahead touchdown for the Jets. So I understand what people are saying, like, all right, let's put the rookie out there. He has so much potential and all these type of things. What Coach T was trying to do is play close to the vest and not put his team in bad positions with bad turnovers. I mean, you're up 20-10 in the fourth quarter, and you got 2 interceptions thrown by your rookie quarterback in the fourth quarter. That's a recipe for disaster. And as a big Minkah Fitzpatrick fan as I am, he basically had a pick 6 yesterday. He dropped another pick 6. He could have took a 90-yard pick 6 to the house, but he dropped it. And if that happens, they win the ball game hands down. This NFL thing that we look at and people talk about, oh, this team Philly hasn't played anybody. The Bengals haven't played anybody. You're playing backup quarterbacks. This ain't college football where we can point at Ohio State and say, oh, man, y'all play Arkansas State. You can't point at Alabama and say y'all played Georgia State. This is the NFL. And if anything's taught us, all these games come down to the fourth quarter. They all come down to the fourth quarter, no matter how much talent you got, no how much little talent you got. We were looking at the Kansas City game last night. They're up 28-7. I'm like, all right, time for bed. I wake up the next morning. They won, 38-31? Somehow these teams always come back. It's like the NBA now. You don't need to watch until the fourth quarter.
Well, I totally disagree. You play bad teams, you play backup quarterbacks, your chances of winning are significantly higher than everyone else. No, if you tell me that a team is going to play Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, you keep going down the list of elite starting quarterbacks and then say, oh no, but this team over here is going to play Joe Flacco, this team over here is going to play Mitch Trubisky, this team over here is going to play who are the other backup quarterbacks that the Bengals have already played? Teddy Bridgewater.
That's the only part you heard out of that 30-minute soliloquy I gave?
You go 2-2. When you're the defending AFC champs, you're healthy, you have everyone. You have everyone out there, and you're struggling to beat backup quarterbacks after being in the Super Bowl a year ago. No, you are not. The Bengals are the only team that don't have an excuse to be ass. That's basically where I'm at this
point. How is that the only part you took out of that whole soliloquy?
Yesterday I saw what happened on Facebook. You posted a thing on our ESPN Dayton Facebook page. Browns lose, thoughts. And then all these moronic, annoying-ass Bengals fans. Who day? All of you are annoying as hell. And I'm not going to put up with it. Y'all want to be annoying? I'll be annoying back. Your team is not as good as you think. You played 4 backup quarterbacks, and you're going to sit here and yell, who day? Oh, I guess we won the weekend. Give me a break. You haven't done anything. You're the only team that has no excuse to be 2-2 right now. You should be leading this division right now, not 2-2 and barely hanging on with the rest of them. The Browns had no defensive line yesterday and have had a backup, and we'll have a backup until week 11. Boom. All right. Well, I don't know what you expect. They're playing better than what they should be considering the circumstances. All right. And then let's look at the Ravens. They have no defense. They're supposed to have a defense. They don't have a defense. They don't even have a great passing game. Oh, but Lamar Jackson leads the NFL in touchdown passes. You know who's number 2 in touchdown passes? Jared Goff. For the Lamar lovers out there, you're going to argue the same thing about Jared Goff that you do Lamar freaking Jackson. Lamar's a great passing quarterback. He leads the league in touchdowns. Well, how about the guy that has like 1 or 2 less passing touchdowns than Lamar Jackson? Jared Goff. Is Jared Goff an elite quarterback of the net? No, he's not. Shut it. Now, the Ravens, they have a built-in excuse for the coaching too, trying to be over-analytical, causing them games, and then the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's just leave it at that. I mean, black and yellow, baby, right? Bengals, you're the only one that should be embarrassed about the 2-2 start right now. Not the Browns, who knew that they were going to be in for a rough 11 games without Deshaun Watson to begin with. Now you had no Myles Garrett, no whole defensive line to begin with. But the Bengals, who day, you needed Tua to go out in the first half to beat them. All right, you lost to the backup quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. You lost to Mitchell Trubisky. That's about to be all my Dallas Cowboys at this point. The Browns keep it up. I'm telling you. So I don't want to hear it. Bengals fans, I've tried to play nice, but I can't stand you. You guys irritate the living crap out of me. A Browns post yesterday that had nothing to do with you. You're 2-2 bum asses over there, 2-2. Now, you can't even beat the Dallas Cowboys and their backup quarterback. Can't even beat the Steelers, who look like they're going to have the number 1 draft pick this year. You couldn't beat them. You needed Tua to go down. You needed how many doctors, how many people did you need spying on the practice of the Dolphins? How many doctors needed to fail the concussion protocol thing for Tua? How many mistakes of the coaching staff for the Dolphins needed to be made for you to beat the Dolphins? My goodness, I'm so proud of. Oh, well, 15 point. Yes, you held the backup quarterback for the Dolphins to 15 point. I can't tell you how impressed that you bums. But you should be embarrassed that you're 2-2. And I'm so annoyed. Like the Browns have an excuse to be 2-2. The Ravens do. The Steelers, I mean, they were almost 2-2 yesterday. Despite all that. But there's the Bengals in the Super Bowl a year ago. You got Jamar Chase, you got Joe Burr, you got Tyler Boyd and Joe Mixon. Where's he at, by the way? Huh? I mean, I have no clue where Joe Mixon's at, by the way. Y'all have no excuse. No excuse to be 2-2. You're going to sit here and laugh at the Browns? You're swimming in the murky waters with the Browns and the Ravens, the teams you're making fun of, all while being the same record as them. I enjoy your failures, and I can't wait to watch the Ravens destroy you guys on Sunday Night Football. I'm going to get a Ravens jersey. I'm going to buy a Ravens jersey after this show. My boss just texted me, said to calm the heck down and stop saying bum asses. So at that point, I gotta go to break and calm the heck down before I get in trouble. But one more time. But no, I can't.
Schadenfreude.
No. You Bengals fans, that's fine. You won on Thursday. Congratulations. Congratulations on once again getting lucky and having to face a backup quarterback. What's going to happen when you face a real quarterback on Sunday? I can't wait. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Ken making fun of the Browns when you're 2-2 as well. Give me, you lost to the Steelers.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Do you enjoy sports betting and fantasy sports? If so, it's important to know that gambling's not a way to pay bills or earn income. Learn how to set limits and recognize the warning signs for problem gambling by visiting beforeyoubet.org. You can also assess your risk by taking the responsible gambling quiz. Beforeyoubet.org provides free resources to help keep gambling safe and fun for Ohioans. Be a fan with a plan this season and go to beforeyoubet.org to learn more.
Need a U.S. passport? We can help. Hi, this is Mike Foley, your Montgomery County Clerk of Courts. Visit one of our convenient auto title locations in Huber Heights, Clayton, downtown, Moraine, and Centerville. Make us your first destination before you travel abroad. No appointments ever needed. We do passports.com for more info.
God, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending Ooma and their all-in-one phone, video, and collaboration solution.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Festivals, football, flannels. Some say fall is their favorite time of year. And this fall, there are now updated COVID-19 booster shots designed to help protect against COVID-19 variants. If you've had your primary series, schedule an updated COVID-19 booster shot appointment as soon as you're eligible. And don't forget to enjoy the foliage. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
The best audio entertainment this fall is on Audible. It's the home of storytelling with audiobooks, exclusive originals, popular podcasts, and more. All in one app. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.
Want to make tonight's dinner a true winner? Just stop by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken and pick up a 12-piece family meal at a great price. You'll get 12 pieces of our classic Famous Recipe Chicken that's honey-dipped, hand-breaded, and pressure-cooked just right, along with 3 of our large sides and 6 fluffy biscuits. This is temptation times 12. Get the family meal that's big on flavor and on value with the 12-piece family meal. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
At EasyCater, food for work is our thing. It's literally all we've done for 15 years. Whether you need to feed a meeting or the whole company, we're here to make sure the food is professionally delivered, on time, as ordered, and all within your budget. No wonder we get orders from 93% of Fortune 500 companies. Food for work is what we do, and no one knows it better. Order 24/7 from over 95,000 restaurants on EasyCater.com. EasyCater, food for work. It's our thing.
Sure, we have 30 seconds to tell you that drivers who switch to Progressive could save big. But then what? Well, there is a nice piece of stock music playing behind me that a talented composer worked really hard on. So let's enjoy it. Wow, almost overshadows the saving big when you switch to Progressive part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
See Columbus Equipment Company, 7570 New Carlisle Pike in Dayton.
On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
All right, and we are back. Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. I didn't plan on snapping today, but here we are. We all make decisions.
Oh, boy, you made a big one.
Don't care. Bengals fans, they're stupid. I mean, seriously, they're moronic. You started out 0-2. You've beat 2 backup quarterbacks since then after losing to 2 backup quarterbacks to open up the season, and somehow you're the favorites to win the Super Bowl again. It makes no dang sense. It's one of those things. So Ryan Strong says, you lost to the Jets backup quarterback. You lost to the Falcons, pretty much a backup quarterback. Well, Mr. Strong, you're defending your team as if the Browns and the Bengals are starting a race from the same starting block. I mean, do I need to talk slower so you could understand here? I'm pretty sure if Joe Burrow, you did not have Joe Burrow for the first 11 games, would you be sitting here using that as an excuse? Is what you would, because teams without their starting quarterback they're not as good as they are with their starting quarterback. It's that simple. I mean, my God, if Deshaun Watson was the quarterback of the team that lost to the Jets and the Falcons yesterday, you would have all the right in the world. All right. But you're talking about your fully healthy, improved offensive line who went to the Super Bowl last year, who was just 4 seconds away from completing a pass to Jamar Chase. Oh, my God. Who dey? You bunch of losers. You threw a damn parade for losing the Super Bowl last year. You're going to sit here and take shots at the Browns? You kidding? The team that had their whole defensive line out with injuries and a backup quarterback, you're going to hold them to the same standard that you don't even hold your team, who's supposed to just be the best team in the history of football. You're going to come at me. Let's go. Bring it. Bring it. Because the thing that you guys seem to lack is common sense and understanding of how football works. When you don't have your defensive line, you don't have a starting quarterback, the chances of you winning and they still had a good chance to win that football game, is what it is. And Browns fans, I'll get to you in a moment because all of y'all come across really stupid too yesterday. Oh, let's fire Kevin Stefanski. We're going to fire Kevin Stefanski. Really? Stefanski is the only reason that this team has chances to win ball games at this point. Browns fans, oh, let's fire Kevin Stefanski. There's no one that's safe today. No one. Absolutely no one.
The fire of Kinner.
David Shaw says, coming from the guy who had a team, David Shaw, just like everything else in the history of your miserable life, you are wrong. The Browns did not throw that parade. McNeil, super fan, threw the parade. Our fans aren't that smart, just like the Bengals fans. I get that, but no, get your facts straight. Don't come at you. Mark Smith, hoo-day, more hoo-day, more hoo-day. I've never seen a team more excited to be 2-2 after losing to the future #1 draft pick Pittsburgh Steelers and the Dallas Cowboys backup quarterback. Y'all are something. Man, I'm really hoping. I never wish an injury on somebody, but for the sake of y'all's mental health, I really hope that Lamar gets hurt between now and Sunday, just so you can have a chance to win on Sunday. I've never been a bigger Ravens fan than I am right now. My goodness, you got to be kidding me. This is the first time you've had to play starting quarterback this year. No preseason games. You had 4 preseason games and you're 2-2. Good luck. Anyways, no blood pressure medicine for a week, so it's showing.
I think it's in the chat.
Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Let's see. Let's go back to these comments if it's good. Brandon Kelty said, Kinner, Browns fans cannot complain about other teams being optimistic. How many times did Browns fans hot that offseason Super Bowl? Brandon, when you learn how to type, but I'll just resend that so it makes sense. I have no clue what you're even trying to say. So it is what it is. But, it is what it is. So let's see. Will Limmer says, football is a fun game to watch. Sometimes you got to, detach your fanhood just a bit. Breathe.
What? There you go. There you go.
What?
Breathe.
I know. I'm not letting them win.
Woosah. It'll be okay. I mean, could be 1-3 like my team. And then roll out the rookie quarterback and then
let
those
me ask
3
you,
interceptions.
You're 1-3. How are you 1-3 again?
We got a week 1 win over the beloved Cincinnati Bengals.
You know how bad you have to be to lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Keep it up, Kenner.
No, but I'm just saying. It's not like the Bengals were hurt or anything. They were healthy, and they lost.
7-1 without TJ Watt. It's quite alarming.
Oh, so they needed someone to be. Oh no, they still lost to. It is what it is. All right,
quite alarming.
Here's the deal. I'm going to calm down. Let's just talk about this. I'm just saying.
Adults.
Let's talk about the Cleveland Browns yesterday, because Browns fans got on my nerves probably just as much as Bengals fans did yesterday. Browns fans, it's okay to be frustrated with how a game goes. I was disgusted with the defense. The defense, by the way, for those of you blaming Kevin Stefanski for yesterday's loss, you just stop it. Stop it. Kevin Stefanski is not the problem. The only mistake Kevin Stefanski continues to make is allowing Joe Woods to show up to work every single day. That's the only mistake that Kevin Stefanski makes. And every day that Joe Woods shows up to be the defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns, that is a day that Kevin Stefanski wakes up making a mistake. That mistake I have no problem continuing to point out. But the Cleveland Browns don't lose that game yesterday if they don't have their entire defensive line out. It's that simple. The Falcons went on a 10-play, 5.5-minute, 75-yard drive. 10 plays, 75 yards, a touchdown in 5.5 minutes, Kev. Not one pass attempt. Not one pass attempt. That on Kevin Stefanski? Oh, but he should have taken the field goal. You're only saying he should have kicked the field goal on the opening drive of the first quarter because they ended up losing by 3. I had no problem with them being aggressive and going for it on 4th down right there. There are coaches, like you talked about with Harbaugh, who are much more aggressive and much more high leverage points of ball games. That was not a high leverage moment of the ball game. That was the opening drive. The Falcons could not stop the run. I know that they went for the pass instead of trying to run it in, but that was a read when he walked up to the offensive line, and when they collapsed in, that's when he audibled and called the pass play to the Falcons. They had nothing was working in the red zone for the Browns, by the way. Absolutely nothing. I have no problem with them being aggressive, Kev. No problem whatsoever. The Browns marched the ball down the field. They did not convert on the 3rd or the 4th down, right there on the 3rd and goal and 4th and goal. But you know what? A lot of coaches go for it in that situation. We can't just say, well, because the Browns lost by 3, they lost the game.
Right. There's a lot of football to play after that.
They lost the game when they gave up 170 yards rushing in the second half. That's why you lost the game, not the offense. The Cleveland Browns have the number 2 rushing attack in football, and they're a top 5 offensive team in football, as ugly as their offense looks. And you want to fire the guy that's responsible for getting the most out of this offense, considering the fact that you have a backup quarterback. And by the way, Jacoby Brissett throws that interception late in the game. The problem with Jacoby Brissett is he is your perfect backup quarterback. He can lead your team to wins. He can manage a game. But when you put him in a position where he has to throw, and he has to throw in high leverage situations, he's proven he's not your guy. He's thrown 2 interceptions in 2 losses this year that he had a chance to march a team down the field to win a football game. I'm not angry. I'm angry if that's your starting quarterback. I'm mad, Kev, if that's Baker Mayfield as your starting quarterback. I'm mad if that's Deshaun Watson. I'm not mad that Jacoby Brissett, the backup quarterback, did not march the Browns down the field and lead them to a win, as if, I would like that. And that's anytime you get that out of your starting quarterback. I mean, by the way, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. I love watching what's happening right now with Rush. But Rush does not look like an all-out great quarterback, right? Like, have you watched a little bit of Rush? He's not bad. He's doing nothing different than what Jacoby Brissett and some of the other backups are doing. They're putting the ball in the right spot. They're making the right plays, and they're not beating their football team. But if you put Rush or any of these backups in positions where they have to lead their team down the field, guess what? You're probably not going to get a positive result, because that's really what separates the backups from the starters, is the guys that can elevate your team and lead you down the field. That's not Jacoby Brissett, who's had a fantastic season. And I still feel good about him being the backup quarterback moving forward, because who else you're going to get, for one? And 2, they're still the top 5 offense in football right now, 4 weeks into the season. So I'm not mad. I was mad that they lost yesterday, but I'm not like waking up furious, because the one side of the ball that they were supposed to be winning football games because of is the defense. And that's why they lost yesterday's game, not the offense. Jacoby Brissett, Kev, with as bad as that Falcons offense is, should have never been put in a position to have to lead a game-winning drive down the stretch if the defense just holds on. The defense, it wasn't even about holding on. It wasn't even about the Falcons making good plays. There was just There were gaps wide open. Me and you could have been the running backs for the Falcons yesterday. So I've said it as calm as I can. If Browns fans, some of y'all, I understand why our fans get made fun of. It's because you are you guys are sometimes you talk loud and you say loud, obnoxious things like I'm doing, except I'm making sense and you don't. Blaming Kevin Stefanski is the stupidest thing that you can do. And as much as I love Browns fans, I think any Browns fan that has actually uttered the words, we should get rid of Kevin Stefanski, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And it's embarrassing. If this was happening, by the way, Kev, with Deshaun Watson, if Deshaun Watson, who's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, or at least was the last time he played, if you're losing those types of games with that type, now we have a problem. I don't have a problem with having to force Jacoby Brissett to be something he's not, and that's an elite quarterback. He is a very good backup. He's not an elite quarterback. He's just not.
What did you think about the David Njoku in and around? Because, I mean, those are the things, if I was a Browns fan, that would frustrate me. Why are we running in and arounds with our tight end when we got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt? Those are the things that frustrate fan bases when these seem like plays are just too cute. Like, I think we're just being too cute here. Well, if we're going to run it, let's run it with the number 1 back in the NFL. Like, those are the things that people lose their mind over. And as far as Stefanski being on the hot seat or whatever, I don't think he should be on the hot seat. But I said this in the summer, if things don't go the Browns' way, he's going to be the fall guy. No matter how we like to cut it, he's going to be the person that's going to be responsible for it because he's not in charge of player personnel, but he's going to be responsible for what happens on the field. So the people making all the calls behind the scenes to trade draft picks, to get Deshaun Watson, to trade Baker Mayfield, to do X, Y, and Z, they'll be sitting pretty while he's the one going to be up there answering or not answering questions in his case, because he never answers a question at the press conferences. So he's going to be the brunt of all the fans' anger and his coaching staff as well.
Adam Collett says, how does this know-it-all smartass that tells all his listeners how stupid they are constantly have his own show? I'll never get it. Back to Mo I go. Go back to Mo. Me and Mo, actually friends. Mo's a great dude. Does a great job. The difference, I mean, in Mo, who works in the city that you're a fan of a team of, his job is to tell you how great your 2-2 team is. That's his job. The great thing about doing a show in Dayton is we don't have a team. We have a bunch of fans from a bunch of different teams. We have Steelers fans. We have Ravens fans. We have Browns fans. We have Bengals fans. So I don't have an allegiance to either particular. I call it how I see it. Mo's job in Cincinnati, and by the way, Mo does a pretty good job of being critical of the Cincinnati Bengals at times, but he also knows he can't bite the hand that feeds him, so he has to go light on the criticism a little bit. I don't have to do that. If you are that soft, Mr. Adam Collett, then please go over to Mo. Let Mo take care of your feelings. Let Mo tell you how great your 2-2 team is. I'm happy for you, Adam, that you found someone to appease your soft feelings, buddy, because I'm not doing that for you. I'm not your psychiatrist. Go find someone else. I don't care. That's totally fine. As far as I'm concerned, okay, as far as I'm concerned, that David Njoku thing, there are times where I feel you can question Kevin Stefanski's play calling when it comes to being too aggressive in those situations, maybe trying to force things. I am not saying Stefanski is the coach of the year. I'm not saying he's the best coach in football, but if you made a list of all the issues that the Browns have right now, he doesn't even come into the top 10. Like, I don't, every coach is trying to be aggressive. Every coach does make calls a play, Kev, that you're like, ooh, what are you doing there? Some coaches are trying to be, and you know what happens when coaches are aggressive and they work? What do we say? Good for him for having the guts to try that. Because if that doesn't work, we're having a completely different conversation. Well, guess what? That's what we're doing. That, so it is what it is at this point. I just don't understand how you could sit here and say that Kevin Stefanski is to blame for this right now. It is what he's not a great elite coach by any means, but he's definitely not a bad coach, and he's way better than, well, pretty much any coach the Browns have had since coming back to Cleveland. And like, I can't give this team a grade, Kev, at all until we know who their quarterback is. That's the problem with all of this. That's why I get too high whenever they start winning, and then I get too low when they start losing, instead of realizing that this is a team that's basically just trying to tread water until week 12. In week 12, let everyone come at me. Come at me. Tell me how horrible this team is, because at that point, Kevin Stefanski will have no excuse. When you get Deshaun Watson, when you went through everything you did to get him, when you traded everything, when you gave up all that guaranteed money, when you pissed off the entire league because you gave that money, Kev, you know what? I have no problem with everyone coming at me as a Browns fan saying, well, what now? What now? There is no more what now.
You heard him. He won't have any problems.
There's no problem, because at that point, my expectation is the same as yours. Win, baby. Win. You got Deshaun Watson. You got Amari Cooper. You have David Njoku, who's supposed to be taking strides forward, and he has over the last couple of weeks. So yes, Donovan Peoples-Jones has been great. David Bell made some big plays yesterday. The rookie that they drafted this past draft, of course. At that point, guys, I have no problem with it. But you are taking a team that had no defensive line and a backup quarterback, and you're holding them to a standard as if they're on an equal playing field with the Cincinnati Bengals, who have everybody. Oh, I'm sorry, DJ Reader is out, and you're long snapper. Folks, if you think that a long snapper, you know how many things have to go wrong for you to get down to your long snapper being why you lose a football game? I don't know what to tell you. Then you're more embarrassing than I thought. That's ridiculous. But Kev, I'm just like, same thing for the Steelers. Pickett, we don't know who he is. The Steelers, they're kind of an incomplete too, because actually they're not incomplete. I think you're very good.
They're not good.
They're not good. But like the Browns, they're an incomplete. Any wins you get is just gravy. But like, I don't know how we can hold this team to the same standard that you're going to do the Ravens, who have Lamar Jackson, the Bengals, who have Joe Burrow, who's supposed to be the greatest thing ever, right? I mean, I remember being younger. My grandma had these like curtains, these ugly floral curtains. Joe Burrow wore that to the game last Thursday. I don't know if you saw that. And that Kid Cudi song, Burrow, is horrible, by the way. I wanted to like it.
Because you are the aficionado on hip-hop music.
They call me for advice. We'll be right back. And I really hope my friend Adam Collett stays tuned in. I hope I didn't hurt his feelings too much. We'll be right back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
What QC Kinetics is doing for people here is nothing short of amazing. I'm talking real lasting relief from joint pain. Hey, it's Keith Byers. QC Kinetics is the nation leader in exciting new pain treatments with advanced regenerative medicine, non-surgical alternatives. If you're living with joint pain from injury or arthritis, don't let them tell you steroids and pain meds and surgery are your only options. QC Kinetics uses regenerative treatments that can restore and repair damaged tissue. Maybe you've been diagnosed with bone-on-bone arthritis and been told you need a replacement. Call QC Kinetics now for an alternative way to deal with the pain. These amazing protocols work with pain caused by injury as well, like a torn meniscus or a rotator cuff. Call QC Kinetics now. Don't keep living with that pain. Learn how regenerative medicine can give you your life back with no drugs and no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 937-936-0325. That's QC Kinetics. 937-936-0325.
Make the big game sound even bigger with your new TV and sound system from Audio Etc. There is nothing better than a home theater or high-fidelity music system from Audio Etc. 4K is amazing, but just imagine the 8K experience. Come to Audio Etc's crazy cool showroom today and experience 8K TVs and projectors, short throw projectors from 100-inch to 130-inch, all the way to your high-end dream system. Audio Etc has tons of new inventory in stock, while everybody else is back-ordered or out of stock. Get special deals on a TV and your dream system today. Audio Etc can bring any big game home. It's better than being there. You have to see it to believe the incredible quality of the picture and sound. If you can't afford your dream system, check out our huge selection of vintage and pre-owned components. Audio Etc, powered by Klipsch, Bowers & Wilkins, SVS, Marantz, Denon, Sony, and a whole list of high-performance brands that you've probably never heard of. 551 Congress Park Drive in Centerville.
Audio Etc's crazy cool showroom.
Germain Honda Beaver Creek is your local Honda dealer. If you've been waiting to buy, now is the time. For a limited time, we have 22 Honda Passports and 22 Honda Pilots with financing as low as 1.9% and 2022 Honda Ridgelines with financing as low as 2.9%. Remember, we can get the Honda you're looking for. We are taking deposits on current scheduled in-build new Hondas every day. See me, Sales Manager Jason High, for all the details. We're on Route 35, just east of 675 between Xenia and Beaver Creek. Germain Honda Beaver Creek, the right car, the right price, the right way.
Don't put it off any longer. You know it's time. Time for a bathroom upgrade by Bath Creations. Bath Creations is a leader in bathroom renovations, providing the very best value in bath and shower remodeling and proudly made in the USA. With Bath Creations, you get a beautiful modern bathroom that's safe, comfortable, and affordable. Attention first responders, veterans, and active military. Save $500 off your purchase right now. Visit Poe Avenue in Dayton or online at mybathcreations.com. Call and upgrade today.
Hey, Buckeye fans, as the official wing sponsor of your Ohio State Buckeyes, Roosters is giving away 12 trips for 2 to this year's Buckeye Bowl game. Each trip comes complete with airfare, hotel, gift bag, and 2 tickets to the big game. One bowl prize winner chosen each week, along with other cool Roosters weekly prizes. So register every week at roosterswings.com. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Official contest rules at roosterswings.com.
Need to visit the Ohio BMV? Go online first. It could save you a trip. It's now easier and more convenient than ever to get what you need from the BMV online. Need to renew your driver's license? Renew online. And if you need to renew your vehicle registration, visit one of our new BMV Express kiosks or go online. If you do need to visit a BMV agency, use the Get in Line online tool, also found on the website, to save your spot and minimize your time waiting. For more services available online, check out bmv.ohio.gov.
The best audio entertainment this fall is on Audible. It's the home of storytelling with audiobooks, exclusive originals, popular podcasts, and more. All in one app. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking.
So here's the deal. I tear you all down just to build you back up again. It's Kinner's Cash. It's the Kinner's Cash contest every day. Kinner, me, your favorite radio host, doubt it, is giving you $2,000 a day, or at least a chance to win $2,000 a day. Head to wingam.com right now for the Kinner's Cash contest. Be listening every hour for the winning word. You take that winning word to wingam.com, enter it for your chance to win $2,000. They said, Kinner, we want to give away $1,000 a day. I said, no, I love my listeners, except for Adam Collett, who's soft. I love my listeners. So instead of $1,000, I want to give him $2,000.
Not one, but two.
Yeah, Adam Collett. I bet Mo's not giving you $2,000, you big jerk. So there you go. Winning word is piano, Kev. Head to wingam.com and enter the winning word piano. There's only, like Shaw, you're not allowed to win. If you're a Bengals fan, you're not allowed to win. I'm very selective with who I give my money to.
Cutting the audience in half. My question for everybody out there, what are you going to buy with this extra 2 G's? Because I know what you would buy if you weren't giving away this $2,000. You buy yourself a new MacBook or a new charger or some new headphones or something like that. But what would the listeners buy? Jump in the chat. Tell us what you're going to buy with Kinner's $2,000.
Kev, trying to hijack this to be professional while I'm taking shots at the listeners. That's great. And that's why you're here, Kev.
This is why I'm hired.
But seriously, piano is the winning word. Head to wingam.com and enter the winning word piano for your chance to win. Not one, but $2,000. 2 as in the amount of wins and losses that your Cincinnati Bengals have. All right. Piano is the winning word. There we go. So back to, I should just stay out of the Facebook chat.
Yeah, I noticed that you were deep into the Facebook chat when I was having a full-blown conversation with you and you didn't say a word.
I just, got to sound the words out and read them. A lot of bad words coming in. Some guy called me a D-bag already, so there's that. I had that coming, to be fair. So Steve Keaton says, so you're going to make an injury excuse for the Browns. Chargers are beat up, bad, but still took care of business. The Chargers have their quarterback in Justin Herbert. What is so wrong with you guys? You can't understand how football works. And it's not like they, by the way, the Chargers are without Joey Bosa. The Browns are without Myles Garrett. and the rest of the entire defensive line. It's like no starting quarterback, no defensive line. And when you look at how the Falcons won, they ran it right down the Browns' throat because they had no defensive line. Like that's why it's not even making an excuse. It is pointing out that teams that can't run on the Browns usually now running on the Browns because their defensive line is not there. It is honestly that simple. It is not even an excuse. It's breaking down a football game. I don't know what else to tell you. You guys are just wanting to hate, and you're mad that I'm giving a little resistance to that. That's just too damn bad. That's bad for you guys. That ain't bad for me. I get it. You don't. That's the problem.
When's the last time Clowney's played over 14
Not
games?
the point. No, it's a valid point. He played a lot last year. He played really well last year. The problem is and by the way, I like the Cleveland. And to be fair, another guy called me out that didn't I say that the Browns defense was elite coming into the year on paper. I love what the Browns have defensively on paper. I do not like Joe Woods and his defensive scheme. It is literally like watching 4 quarters of a prevent defense. Every opposing receiver that makes a catch in a game against the Browns, butt naked, wide open, as Kev always said.
Butt naked.
Like there's no, like, when's the last time you saw someone make a Sports Center top 10 catch against the Browns? And what I mean by that is a catch that he's heavily, like, for instance, who was the Steelers player that made that huge
Pickens.
George Pickens, by the way, was covered all right. Like, it wasn't it's not like the Bengals played bad defense on Pickens. Pickens made a fantastic play.
Oh, no, that was Pickens made that against the Browns.
Oh, the Browns. Sorry.
Deontay Johnson made it against the Bengals.
So, but the Browns too, him behind him, but I'm talking about the one against the Bengals. Like
that was
that
was Deontay Johnson had that one against the Browns with the one hand.
So, but like every time a receiver makes a catch outside of that would, of course, wide open. Yesterday, Marcus Mariota completed 7 passes, and of the 7, none easier than the one where he was wide open and ran right into field goal range. It's folks. Joe Woods, this defense is not good. I was wrong about this. The defense was supposed to be why they were winning football games, and they're losing games because of the defense. Somehow, the backup quarterback who was being put in positions to have to lead you from behind in games that they shouldn't even be behind in, he threw the pick against the Jets that they ultimately lost in, and he threw the pick against the Falcons. Both games in which the teams had the lead and had no business having a chance to make a comeback drive, right? Like, that's the whole problem I have with all of this. The Browns are playing poor defensively, even when they're completely healthy. But yesterday, you can't look at how the Falcons won. The Falcons won. They didn't even go to it's the NFL. It's an offensive-driven league. There's not one team in the NFL, even with Derrick Henry and the Titans, that'll have 10 straight rushing plays. But the Falcons did it. Why? Because of the weakness of the Browns not having anyone there to play defensive line yesterday. It's not an excuse. It's just common sense.
These defensive coaches in the NFL, they know the game. There's no doubt about it. You can't get to the level or where they are to be defensive coordinators or offensive coordinators for that fact without knowing the game. It's the ability to convey that and teach that to the players. And that is the problem with the Cleveland Browns. Whatever the miscommunication is between Joe Woods and the DB's coach, that's the problem. The communication is the problem because they don't seem to know if they're in cover 2 or cover 1 or cover 3 or man-to-man. It just seems like it's always somebody pointing the finger at somebody. So the communication is the biggest issue. And for it to be year 3 of Joe Woods, if I'm not mistaken, that's the biggest problem. So him knowing the game, he can come in here and break it down to us on a piece of paper like nobody's business. But are you communicating that to the people that it really matters to, the players? Is that information being conveyed to them so they know what they're doing and they can do it fast and do it at a high level? And obviously it's not, because guys constantly are running wide open.
So real quick, taking a pause real quick. What would you buy if you won $2,000 of Kinner's money for the Kinner's Cash contest? Sean Boland says a floral suit, a floral flower suit. Jeff McPherson says he would first and last on a new apartment. First and last payment on a new apartment.
Hey, you ain't like Joe Burrow's suit?
No, don't. I finally calmed down.
I would rock that.
No.
I would rock that.
You mean the Bengals quarterback who looks like Dahmer?
Oh, come on, Kenner.
When he wore those glasses, I saw a thing of him the other day. I'm like, I thought it was a Dahmer promotion. No, it's just Joe Burrow at the doing a press conference.
Dahmer went to Ohio State too.
did he? And you know what? They have a lot in common. He also was not a starting quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes. All right, continue to go down the some guy who has been very mean to me today, but it's okay because he's usually on my side, so I'm gonna forgive him for the mean things he said about me today. He says he's gonna buy weed.
It's lit, literally.
Now,
Snoop Dogg.
He said medical cannabis is exactly what he said.
Snoop Dogg has cannabis-infused onion rings coming out.
Smokes?
No.
That's like when the people at the Super Bowl got mad. There was that clip of him lighting up a joint. Like he kind of was like, and everyone's like, you can't believe what? That he's what? You finish that sentence. You can't believe what? That's
California, man.
It's like, my goodness. So it is what it is. Let me see. Tyler Fife, related to Barney. He says, I'd buy Kenner a Bengals jersey. I've got that a lot. That people would buy me.
What number would you guys put on there? Because we got to personalize it. Kenner on the back. What number?
Number 1, baby. Not that bum Jamar Chase. Kenner's number 1.
You're a big Uno.
Yep. Just saying. It is what it is. Anyways, but yes, the piano. Head to wingam.com right now and enter the winning word piano for your chance to win $1,000. William Yelly says Kenner's just a bit bitter because he wanted to come in on a Monday doing the gritty, bragging about the Browns being alone in first place. William, you're not completely wrong on that. There was a point where I thought I was. Oh, I was so happy. I was like 3-1, baby. It's coming. Oh, I was so excited. But instead, the Browns choked up a game against the tanking Falcons. So, is what it is. Their team lost to the Steelers. I'm just saying, like, it's sad that we get to use the Steelers as a way to make fun of teams for losing to them, but that's where we're at. It's been that kind of season. Trey Green said, no, that suit sucks. The floor. Thank you, Trey. And I know that you've been saying not so nice things about me, too. Adam said a low blow on the Burrow outfit. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this one. Oh,
let's not.
I'm doing it anyway.
Let's not.
Brandon,
let's not.
Burrow does have that killer instinct, knowing for eating defenses alive. Brandon, you win Twitter for hour number 1 on the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. That was good. I watched episode 1 last night. Creepy as hell, by the way.
I
shouldn't even be making jokes about it, but I don't care. But yes,
I'm on episode 4, and I think this is where me and the Dahmer series part. I don't think I'm going to finish.
Oofa.
Like, for real. Like, whoa. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Brandon Kelty, I'm proud of you, man. That was good. Logan Ferris says, LOL, that was a good one. Brian Schwederman said, for my jersey number, -1. Nick said number 0 for Kenner. 0's a cool-ass number.
Yeah, they're rocking it a lot in college football nowadays.
Yes. Brian McCoy said, I would donate the money back to you so you can go back on your meds.
Pill emojis in chat, please.
Someone said 69. Everybody drink. So there's that. Kenner's number would have been 0. Hey, Ron, how's your speaking of teams that can't use excuses anymore? What happened last night, buddy? You even got your receivers back and old Tom Brady, who played a great game. I like Tom Brady, but I just don't like Ron sometimes, so I love when his team loses.
Patrick Mahomes went full Allen Iverson with a spin move and a floater. It's like, what in the world?
All right, folks, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Hour number 1 in the books. Head to wingam.com and enter the winning word piano for your chance to win $2,000. That's right, every hour, starting at 8 a.m. all the way to 5 p.m., we'll be giving you that winning word that you could take to wingam.com and enter it for your chance to win $2,000. I'm giving you $2,000 a day. When you go to the website, there's a lot of people who I'm not going to give it to, like Shaw and anyone that's a Bengals fan. But if you are not, Kev didn't let me put that on the website, right? You took that out? Damn. There's a lot of people I'd have restrictions on who would get my money. But right now, everyone's fair game. Head to wingam.com, enter the winning word piano. It's the Kinder's Cash contest, giving away $2,000 a day for the next couple of weeks. So take advantage of that. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash when we come back.
The chatter, you ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter. Ching, ching, bling, bling, patent pockets. We take the dollar, can a damn soul stop it. Here comes the new kid on the block. Hold on your bets, here's where the buck stops. See, first of all, I'm stepping out on my own. About time I elevated to claim my own throne. Success in my blood, call it homegrown. Puerto Rican testosterone. Power and money got me crazy cocky. No longer need you, Poppy. I know you're mad because you can't stop me. And if you wonder how this player done scooped your honey, I think she smell my cologne. It's called
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
It's time for frickin' football. Frickers has a way to make this the winning season. Try a frickin' chicken taco, grilled chicken taco, or Mississippi barbecue taco for a limited time. Enjoy a 48-ounce personal pitcher of domestic draft beer.
I like this kind of party. I like this kind of party, baby.
All the games of college and the NFL at the place that leads the way with inflation-busting prices, everyday values, and where kids eat free. The home for fun, food, sports, and spirits. Frickers.
At Harley-Davidson of Xenia, the atmosphere is positively electric as we look to the future. Our name may have changed, but Harley-Davidson of Xenia has been locally owned since 1984. Under our new management, the staff in store are buzzing to get you set up for the open road. Whether you're shopping for merchandise, a new bike, or just need some maintenance on your current ride, Harley-Davidson of Xenia is here for you. Visit us online to learn more and to place a reservation on your new bike. hdofxenia.com.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers. Excellent pay, benefits, and a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today. Online at CordellTransportation.com. Driven to succeed.
Hungry for a great time, maybe some great food? Then come on down to your neighborhood Submarine House. Try our Philly cheesesteaks, our oven-toasted deli subs, our mouth-watering salads, pizzas, appetizers, and more. And wash them down with a unique selection of craft beers while watching the big game on our big screens. With locations around Dayton, in Columbus, and our newest sports bar in Kettering, you're never far from a Submarine House. Subs, sports, spirits. Submarine House.
The best audio entertainment this fall is on Audible. It's the home of storytelling with audiobooks, exclusive originals, popular podcasts, and more. All in one app. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.
There are many ways to catch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. You can catch it live right here on 1410 Wing AM, or you can stream the show at wingam.com. But now we have another way that you can take in the show. You can now watch the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash live on ESPN Dayton's Facebook page. Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio. All sports, all the time. This is 1410 ESPN Radio. We are Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
And into the end zone goes Chris Olave. KJ Hill, 6-yard touchdown catch. Right sideline and down he goes to the end zone.
WING 1410 Dayton's ESPN Radio.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Justin Kinner with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. If you missed the winning word, it was piano. Head to wingam.com and enter the winning word piano for your chance to win $2,000 of my money. It's the Kinner's Cash contest. I'm giving away $2,000 a day, and all you have to do is be listening for that winning word to enter at wingam.com for your chance to win the moolah. We'll have another opportunity for you to win $2,000 coming up here in about 30 minutes from now. So keep it locked in right here to your least favorite sports talk radio show host and Kev Nash right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. We got Kev Nash back here.
I'm here.
So we're off and rolling. But so I guess now that my blood pressure's come down a little bit, we can kind of reconvene a little bit here. The first hour was like the Attitude Era of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. This is the PG version, a little bit calmer. So here's this. So yes, the Browns 2-2, Bengals 2-2, Ravens 2-2, Steelers are 1-3. I don't know really what to make of each team being 2-2 because there's not one team. The team that you would have to say you feel the most confident about is the Bengals because they're the only team that's won their last two games. The thing about the Bengals, their offense has not looked very good, and it has a lot to do with the run game. Jamar Chase disappeared in game 3. They didn't need him, though, because Boyd went over 100 yards. And then he was good. He didn't really make an impact in the first 2.5, 3.5 quarters, and then made some big catches late in the fourth quarter against the Dolphins. But whatever, that speaks about their depth, to where the Browns need Amari Cooper. Okay, they need Amari Cooper to be effective in the pass game because they don't have a lot of depth there. The Bengals, although they need Jamar Chase, just his presence on the field does, attract a lot of different defensive schemes and coverages and just attention as far as that goes. You have Tyler Boyd, you have T. Higgins, you have so many weapons. The problem with the Bengals right now that they need to be the most concerned about is Joe and not Joe Burrow. We're talking about Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon in the run game, I just saw the Bengals have, I think there is only 6 teams in the NFL that have a worse rushing attack than the Cincinnati Bengals. Like, I thought, Kev, coming into the season that when they fixed the offensive line, I'm like, look, an improved offensive line is going to help Joe Burrow stay healthy more than it is going to make him an even better quarterback, because he made a lot of great throws last year. He threw for a ton of yards and threw for a ton of touchdowns. I don't think that there was another 1,000 yards for Joe Burrow last year with a better offensive line. You know what I mean? Like, the whole purpose of the offensive line was to give him a little bit more time to throw. They win a few more games because he's going to be able to connect on more passes that maybe he missed on the one, but he completed a lot of passes, threw for a ton of yards, threw for a ton of touchdowns. It's not as if he had an offensive line last year that all of a sudden Joe Burrow would have threw for over 1,000 more yards and would have thrown for 15 more touchdowns. No, it would have protected him more. That's really what's important. 3 sacks the last 2 games. So they got that taken care of. The problem is you take a few steps forward and then you take some back. And the Bengals are not getting back to the Super Bowl, and they may not get back to the playoffs, even with the improved offensive line, mainly because they have no run game. You can't win in this league without a run game. You can have an average to below average pass game and have a run game and still have a shot to win football games. I know the Bengals have won 2 straight, but Kev, what's going to happen when we get to that late December, early January stretch when they're playing the Bills and they're playing the Chiefs and they're playing the Ravens again and they're playing the Browns again, and the Bengals are in trouble if they don't find a way to start running the football, because Joe Mixon, I don't know what it is. When they got that offensive line figured out, everyone was so focused on how much better the pass game was going to be. I was like, I don't know how much better you can make that pass game can improve. I don't think it's going to take astronomical steps forward. It was pretty rock solid last year. I thought it was going to help the run game even more. And Joe Mixon was a top 5 running back last year as far as total yards were concerned, and that was with the bum offensive line. Either he's regressed, Pollock's offensive line, as far as the scheme is concerned, is not great run blocking. I don't know what it is. It's a completely new offensive line when you add 3 new guys to it. So it totally changes the dynamic of last year, which was good for the pass game. It has been horrendous for the run game. As I said, only 6 teams in the NFL run the ball worse than the Cincinnati Bengals. That's a problem.
Yeah, they want to definitely get the running game going. I mean, when you get the running game going, that opens up so much more in the passing game. Those play action fakes, you have to respect those. The linebackers have to take a step up, which opens up coverage on the back end for the wide receivers. They definitely got to get the run game going. So you look at the offensive line, you say, okay, if they're supposed to be better at pass blocking, obviously they're going to be better at run blocking. But apparently that's not the case. A lot of the guys that they had playing offensive line last year were guys that played guard or played tackle in college and then bumped down to guard in the NFL. So maybe that has a lot to do with it. Maybe they had more of a better run blockers than pass protectors. And maybe that was the problem that they had last year, because they're not opening up those gaping holes for Joe Mixon or Shamaji Piran, who I accidentally started in my fantasy football league for some strange reason last week. Don't even know why he's on my team, but I digress. So for the Cincinnati Bengals, they got to get all aspects of their offense clicking, because that's when they were at their best, when you couldn't just hone in on the running game that left things open for the wide receivers. But now you're playing the pass because the holes just aren't there for them to run through. And maybe they can do some things in the passing game to open up the running game by throwing more quick bubble screens. I saw them doing that a little bit on Thursday night to say, all right, if we're not going to be able to run it between the tackles, we'll just throw a quick screen out to Chase or T. Higgins and supplement the run game that way.
Yeah, because I see that being more of a problem, especially coming up against the Ravens. Better defensive team. Look, the Ravens defense is solid. Linebackers, D-line, their secondary is not good. The Bengals might feast on that secondary again. I don't know. Josh Allen didn't have a field day. I mean, he had a good day, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just going to be interesting to see. As I've said before, Bengals aren't sneaking up on anybody. I believe last year the Bengals coming up on the Ravens say, oh, it's just the Bengals. The Ravens are not looking at the Bengals this weekend, welcoming them in, saying, oh, it's just the Bengals. They're not going to have their way with this Ravens defense. They're going to take chances. That's what this offense is explosive. Jamar Chase will make plays. I get that. But they're not beating the Ravens Sunday night unless Joe Mixon has a 100-yard game. Like, that's my Monday hot take. If Joe Mixon has 100 yards rushing on Sunday night against the Ravens, the Bengals are winning. If he does not have 100 yards rushing on Sunday night, they are not winning that football game. This isn't a Joe Burrow issue, who has definitely not even come close to looking like the guy that we saw against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's fine. The pass game is fine. The offensive line has protected in the last 2 games. That's fine. But I am not willing to go as far to say that the Bengals are head and shoulders better than everyone in the division until that run game is figured out. Because honestly, the offense for the Browns, statistically, the Browns have the best offense in the AFC North. Y'all don't have to like that. That's just the reality of it. They have the 5th most, or I think the 4th most efficient offense in football, even with yesterday's debacle. It's almost as if they lost because of defense almost. But that's where we're at. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, and I'm not taking a shot at the Bengals on that. I got all my shots in the first hour of the show. I didn't hold anything back. Y'all got on my nerves this past weekend. Kev trying to do his job, posting on the ESPN Dayton Facebook page.
Working on the weekend.
What you think about the Browns game and all y'all? Who day? I was not having it. Y'all really ruined my Sunday yesterday more than the Browns did. But that's not the point. The point is the Browns offense, they're the better offensive package right now. But I don't like their quarterback more. I don't like, Jacoby Brissett more. I don't like the receivers more than what the Bengals have. I don't like, I like the offensive line better and the run game's better, but that's how important the run game is. The run game is why the Browns have a better offense than the Bengals. On paper, the Bengals, everyone would always pick the Bengals offense over the Browns offense. But statistically speaking, the Browns are the best offensive team in the AFC North right now. That's what's crazy about it. I don't really truly believe that to be the case. But you have to run the football to be effective. And I don't care how good Joe Burrow is. I don't care how good Jamar Chase is. The Bengals are not going to make the playoffs or make a run in the playoffs if they do not get that run game going. Because it's one thing to beat 4 straight backup quarterbacks. You ain't do when you get to the good quarterbacks and good teams, you're not doing it with no run game. Joe Mixon, more Joe, less Joe. More Joe Mixon, less Joe Burrow. But they have to have Joe Mixon show up, bottom line. 518-1410. Is this Ron? What do you want, Ron?
Hey, man, how you doing?
You're on live. Don't you cuss. Don't you pull one of your Ron antics, because I'm just waiting for it.
No, I just wanted to say I'm glad you're back. You had a happy vacation.
No, you don't mean that. You cussing at me in the comment section, and now you're trying to act like you're cool, calm-headed Ron.
You jinxed the state of Florida, and, with the hurricanes and crap that can occur.
No, the Kinder curse would have been getting to Florida when it was hitting. I left Florida as it was coming. I did the smart thing this year. I left before it hit.
Well, see. Anyway, I just want to give you a little shout out here. I just want to see how your take was on the Bengals being in first place in the AFC North.
How are they in first place?
That's killing you. That's killing you.
They're the only AFC North team to lose to an AFC North team.
They're tied with your bums, but I mean, really, when they show up, when they show down, your team's going down bad. You know it.
Hey, how was that Sunday night football game last night?
I watched it. I didn't enjoy it, but you know what?
So why didn't
I did?
This is the thing. When Bengals fans lose, they like to take shots at me. When your team loses, you like to take shots. Like, you guys just love when my team loses, but when your team loses, you guys have all the excuses in the world. Ron, I can't believe Tom Brady ruined his marriage just to come back to the playoffs.
Man.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm with Kev, man. I'm FSU.
What did Kev say other than "oh man"? You're with Kev on "oh man."
But you know what, Ron? We're cool. We're always gonna be cool. But come Friday, when your Rays play my Guardians, we're not gonna be cool for this wild card in the MLB.
Yeah, man. I'm just wondering how that worked out with Seattle getting in there. I mean, it's like, did the Rays just clinch the last spot, or I don't know, man. From what I heard, Seattle walked off with a home run and got the last wild card. And I'm like, man, they still got like 7 games. So I'm like, what the hell? But anyway, I just wanted to give you a thing, Justin. You can dog my team all you want, but I guarantee you when they play your team, we'll put a wager on it. And, it's going to be ugly. Week in and week out in the NFL, you've seen it. Teams are up and down.
Your team has the same record as my team. I have no clue what you're talking about, Ron. What have we seen?
What I'm saying is like all the power rankings. like Buffalo. Everybody was sold on them the first couple weeks.
That is the best
Well,
team
they've
in
been
football.
showing.
Bills and Chiefs are the two best
They've
teams
been
in football.
showing their weakness. Chiefs, I mean, really? I mean, Chiefs,
They
do
just
got
destroyed your team last night. What are you talking about?
Well, I know. All right. Well, you know what? At least we, like I sent you that text. We play a power schedule. We don't play like max schedule like the Browns. You know what I'm saying? We play the big boys.
So basically, you're saying that you are like Arkansas. You're the Arkansas then that good team, but you just can't beat the good teams. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just saying we lost. If you had to give a power loss, we lost to the Pack in the Kansas City.
Ron, only good losses count in college football.
I know that, but I'm just giving Kenner crap because he just loves to rub it in, man. And I wouldn't do that to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, go away, Ron. We're done with you. 518-1410. That's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. Phone lines are open. But, yeah, so going back to the comment section, too, again, people reacting to the conversation about the Bengals' issues with the run game. Nick on Facebook says the run plays are the issue. The stretch runs do not play to the strengths of the offensive line. The current line is bigger and should be zone blocking. Well, I mean, this is why, and look, the Bengals did a good job addressing the O-line because the number one priority is protecting Joe Burrow, but it also makes sense that when you're out looking at free agents, do they fit your scheme? If the only priority was protecting Joe Burrow, the Bengals hit a home run on the three guys that they brought in, right? But most teams will sit there and say, well, this guy, yes, if we bring these guys in, they're going to help us accomplish this, but they're going to be a liability in this part of our game. And right now, as strong as those three have been, and I'm not ripping the Bengals here because their number one priority is to protect Joe Burrow. 3 sacks in 2 games. Those guys are doing that. But I don't think it's always fair. I see everyone just ripping Joe Mixon. Keep in mind, I don't know if it's always fair to rip Joe Mixon, Kev, because Joe Mixon is the only guy on that Bengals offense before Burrow got there that was finding ways to make an impact without a good offensive line.
Yeah.
So I'm not ready to say, I see guys in here saying, oh, that he's just not, he's not seeing the field. He's not seeing that maybe he's had a bad 4-week stretch. But I do think it's fair to say that the Bengals improved the pass blocking at the expense of the run blocking. And there's nothing to really be done about that. It's just that is a concern. But at the end of the day, the number one priority was protecting Joe Burrow. They accomplished that. But I do think it's altered how they're going to attack teams in the run. Joe Mixon not being a factor in the run game is a problem for the Cincinnati Bengals. We'll see, what the future holds against the Ravens. Like I said, you get a 100-yard performance from Joe Mixon on Sunday, they're winning that football game. If he does not get 100 yards, they're not winning that football game. I thought he was going to get it going on Thursday night. He got that opening drive touchdown, and I was like, oh, that's what he needed, get that confidence going. But he disappeared again for the rest of the game. Not only him, but the run game. I shouldn't say he. The run game disappeared again for the rest of the game. So the Bengals they're getting better offensively. They just don't look like a well-oiled machine like they did last year. Like they still haven't reached that peak yet. So we'll see how it goes. It will sort itself out. Yeah, you keep telling yourself that, Bengals fans. You keep this sort of, when my team's bad, my team's just bad. There's no sorting anything out. Your team's bad. It's like, it'll get better. Give it time. Give it time. All right, college football, Cap. That's what we're going to transition over to. I don't feel like giving out money right now. We'll give out money coming up here 15 minutes. So
come on, man. Give them your money, man. You got that big raise. Sharing the wealth. New contract extension, Kenner.
Yeah, I know. That's why all these people that are upset with me, they don't realize that I just signed a contract extension and I'm going nowhere. You're stuck with me.
Here for a long time.
Not here for a good time. Here for a long time. That's my motto. All right. Kev, the most disrespected team in college football is?
Ooh, that's left field.
Don't answer yet. We'll be right back.
Good tease. Good tease.
Ohio State,
you're not asking me. You're going to tell me.
I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
But I do want your response as well. It's not Ohio State, although they should be the number one team in the country. I'll tell you who it is. It's not Ohio State, but there is a team that is the most disrespected team in the country when it comes to college football. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
The mid-afternoon and early evening will be clear and sunny, a high near 70. Tonight's going to be mostly clear, a low near 40. And tomorrow's going to be clear and sunny, a high near 72. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane. 98% of their customers recommend Cullet. If you wouldn't recommend your current supplier, check them out at culletpropane.com.
Houday Nation, Betfred has come all the way from England to the great state of Ohio with over 50 years of sports betting experience. No emperors, no movie stars, just a sportsbook you can trust. The Betfred Sportsbook app will be available on January 1st, 2023. Until then, download the Bengals app or go to betfredsports.com and have a chance to win Bengals tickets and exclusive merchandise. Official sports betting partner of the Cincinnati Bengals. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Beyond's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
So many people here are getting real lasting joint pain relief from QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics has changed my life.
I would recommend QC to anybody.
The work that QC Kinetics did paid off exponentially.
It brought me back to an effective age of almost in my 20s and 30s.
QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge regenerative medicine, natural biologics from your own body, precision treatments that can restore and repair damaged tissue in your aching joints, with no meds, no steroids, no drugs, and no downtime.
I got a very quick resolution to my pain.
It is a all-natural therapy. You're using you to fix you.
I got my life back. I got my smile back. And best of all, I got my laugh back.
Don't live with that pain anymore. And don't let them tell you surgery is your only option. Learn more about regenerative options from the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics. Call now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325. 937-936-0325.
Have you heard? $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring Class A CDL drivers for home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight with brand new equipment, and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, company 401k. Plus, they're now hiring recent truck driving school graduates. Apply today. Online at CordellTransportation.com. Driven to succeed.
Make the big game sound even bigger with your new TV and sound system from Audio Etc. There is nothing better than a home theater or high-fidelity music system from Audio Etc. 4K is amazing, but just imagine the 8K experience. Come to Audio Etc's crazy cool showroom today and experience 8K TVs and projectors, short throw projectors from 100-inch to 130-inch, all the way to your high-end dream system. Audio Etc has tons of new inventory in stock, while everybody else is back-ordered or out of stock. Get special deals on a TV and your dream system today. Audio Etc can bring any big game home. It's better than being there. You have to see it to believe the incredible quality of the picture and sound. If you can't afford your dream system, check out our huge selection of vintage and pre-owned components. Audio Etc, powered by Klipsch, Bowers & Wilkins, SVS, Marantz, Denon, Sony, and a whole list of high-performance brands that you've probably never heard of. 551 Congress Park Drive in Centerville.
Audio Etc's crazy cool showroom.
It's time for Frickin' Football. Frickers has a way to make this the winning season. Try a Frickin' Chicken Taco, Grilled Chicken Taco, or Mississippi Barbecue Taco for a limited time. Enjoy a 48-ounce personal pitcher of domestic draft beer.
I like this kind of party. I like this kind of party, baby.
all the games of college and the NFL at the place that leads the way with inflation-busting prices, everyday values, and where kids eat free. The home for fun, food, sports, and spirits. Frickers.
Hi, this is Eddie Sorrell, Body Shop Manager at Germain Honda of Beaver Creek. Our technicians have over 125 years of total experience. That means we can repair your vehicle correctly and efficiently. So when you need a dependable body shop, we're here. And we repair all makes and models with new state-of-the-art equipment to get you back on the road quickly. Plus, we offer loaner cars during service and free estimates. Stop by and see us. Germain Honda of Beaver Creek, State Route 35, just east of 675 between Xenia and Beaver Creek.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681.
Staples stores are a new world of possible with innovative tools for small business and remote workers and learners. Explore more at your local Staples store or staplesconnect.com.
We are Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Down the sideline to the 10. It drags a defender in the end zone for a touchdown. Jackson Smith and Jigba. A 50-yard scoring strike from C.J. Stroud. He'll hit the Purdue 40. Down the left side to the 30. Henderson to the 20, to the 10. And into the end zone goes Henderson.
Don't miss the Buckeyes all season long. Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio and on 92.9 Jack FM. Go Bucks!
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash back with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Kev, we're moving on to college football, but I got to address one person.
One more
in the line of fire. Ryan Roth, I believe it's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Elvis. But Ryan Roth, you may be the king when you're Elvis, but you're the king of bad takes when it comes to trying to prove me wrong on stuff. So Ryan, listen. Ryan says on Facebook, Kev. Ryan here. Bengals O-line only gave up one sack to a really good defense Thursday night. The Browns are finding ways to lose right now. This is why when I try moving on, they got to bring me back in. Ryan, you're wrong. Let's just be clear. The Dolphins' defense is actually the fourth worst defense in football. But I just want you to know that. I know that's going to be a hard pill to swallow. It's the fourth worst defense in football. I hope you understand that. At least from a total yards. I'm sorry, fifth. I was lying. The only defense is worse right now. Like the Ravens defense is really bad. The only defense worse right now is the Houston Texans, the Baltimore Ravens, the Seattle Seahawks, and the Detroit Lions. And I think the Lions and Seahawks willed their team into bad defensive rankings after what happened this past Sunday. 1,075 total yards between Teddy Bridgewater and Jared Goff.
Yeah, Geno Smith. Geno Smith, and he turned the hands back to his days as a collegiate player, playing like he was back at West Virginia.
It was quite the performance there. So Ryan, and then as far as your jab at the Browns are finding ways to lose right now, they're not finding ways to. They're actually finding ways to win right now. When the fact that you're 2-2. You didn't have a defensive line. Like this, the thing, Bengals fans keep poking at the Browns. Oh, other teams have injuries. They don't have an entire position group out. The entire defensive line was out yesterday. And that's why they lost. They gave up 170 rushing yards in the second half alone. The 75-yard, 5.5-minute scoring drive that the Falcons went on That was all on the ground. 10 plays, all running plays. That's what the defensive line being out is why they lost it. It's that simple. They're not great defensively. I've been wanting Joe Woods gone for a while now. Yesterday just made it even worse. But Ryan Roth, I appreciate your passion for the Bengals, but just don't say silly things like, oh, a really good defense. No, they're not. They're not. They've been winning because of obviously the offensive explosion that I don't think anyone expected from Tua Tagovailoa. And there's still people who aren't believers in Tua Tagovailoa. And he's already been ruled out for the game this coming up weekend, by the way, against the Jets. So we'll see what happens there. But Ryan, keep being a Bengals fan. Keep doing your thing. Keep killing it as being Elvis. But you are wrong, my friend. Miami's not a good defensive team. The Browns aren't finding ways to lose. I don't think a team without a defensive line or a starting quarterback is finding ways to lose football games. They're finding ways to be in football games. I'm just saying. All right. Kev, the most disrespected team in college football. I'm seeing a lot of Michigan. Trey Green says Michigan. David Shaw says the Wolverines. All right, some more people sending in Michigan. Ohio State should be number one. For one, I do agree that Ohio State is the number one team in the country. I don't know why. So when Ohio State got moved back and surpassed by Georgia earlier in the season because they didn't look great. Remember, Ohio State only won by 11 against Notre Dame, and then they still looked a little off against Arkansas State. Remember that? You know what I mean? And they moved Georgia up over Ohio State because Ohio State they looked a little off.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia's looked off for a few weeks now. They played Akron or whatever a few weeks ago, and they were only up by a field goal at halftime. I think it was Akron. It was one of the MAC teams. And they keep being left at number one. I know they're the defending national champions. I know it's the SEC, all that stuff. Ohio State is disrespected, in my opinion. They are the number one team in the country. Alabama is not the number one team in the country. Their offense is not explosive at all. It's good. Don't get me wrong. All right, they have a lot of future NFLers on that team. There is nothing even close to what Ohio State has offensively roaming around the college football landscape. Not even close. Ohio State's the number one team in the country. Kev called it before the season. They're winning the national championship. I didn't agree with it because I was too worried about the defense. The defense is vastly improved from a year ago. Is the defense as good as Georgia's? No. Is the defense as good as Alabama's? No. But it really doesn't have to be. They just have to get enough stops and slow high-powered teams down just enough to let the Ohio State's offense continue to pile the pressure on opponents. Ohio State should be the number one team in the country. But the top 25 came out. All right, Keith Byers is an official top 25 voter and was talking with him, and he has Michigan at number 4. Michigan is not disrespected. You are so lucky, by the way, that you're even where you're at. Because if we're going to sit there and move Ohio State back early in the season because they didn't look dominant against a good football team, but yet your team, if you combine the rosters of all the teams, you still have one gigantic bum-ass football team, I don't want to hear it. Michigan fans, sit down. The real football teams are talking here. The most disrespected team in college football right now is the Clemson Tigers. If the college football playoff rankings came out today, Kev, let's say tonight was when they were released, I think Ohio State's 1 and Clemson's 2. And that's not a hot take. When you do what we're like, because we move the goalposts all the time. We get the talking points. We find the best talking points to make an argument for our teams. The bottom line is the talking points that the College Football Playoff Committee has always stuck to is the strength of schedule. How many quality wins do you have? Ohio State has Notre Dame, but that's not just the only thing. They literally are just destroying everyone. There is not a defense out there to stop this Buckeye offense, period. Clemson is the only team in the country that has 2 top 25 wins right now. And they just did it in back-to-back weeks. And they just did it against NC State, a top 10 opponent. So Michigan, you're lucky that you're ranked ahead of Clemson because while you're playing nobodies and winning, Clemson's playing somebodies and winning. And somehow, some way, the Big Ten bias is getting in the way of Clemson. The ACC is the Big Ten is garbage. The Big Ten is a disastrous joke of a conference right now. I feel bad for Fox and all the conferences that spent good money to get the Big Ten. That is a big disastrous joke. Has any other conference fired 2 head coaches not even 5 games into the season yet other than the Big Ten? I'll wait. No. The Big Ten is one gigantic dumpster fire, and Michigan is bragging about being the second best team in it, and they haven't beaten anyone outside of the conference that justifies anything. Ohio State looks the part. They are the part. We know they're the part. Michigan, we know nothing about other than that they're just a big old bully that can beat up on really bad, really, really, really bad football teams. Congrats, kudos to you. Bottom line is, Clemson deserves way more respect than what they're getting. I think Ohio State's 1, and based on the quality of wins and the play of DJ Uiagalelei, I think they should be number 2 in the country. I know that's a hot take, and we can't move SEC teams out of the spotlight. And apparently, because Harbaugh wears khakis and makes them cool, they have to get respect. Apparently, I don't get that. By the way, how about this? Wisconsin, who fired Chryst over the weekend, he has more wins than Jim Harbaugh, who was hired the same time as Harbaugh was. More wins and more bowl wins than Jim Harbaugh. And Wisconsin has a higher standard for what they want excellence to be than that bum program, that team up north. Just wanted to throw that out there. For all my Michigan fans are so disrespected, get out of here with that garbage.
So real quick before I give you props, let me say this about Chris
interested.
And
He
the
deserved to be
program.
fired, by the way.
It's where the program is headed.
Yeah.
Like Michigan is headed up while Wisconsin appears to be headed down. So I think like that's where the line is drawn. You know, if you want to just look at the records, yeah, obviously he's performed better at Wisconsin than Harbaugh has, but it's looking like Michigan is headed up. So back to the initial point. Yeah, I'm with you. And I know people are going to look out there and be like, it's the ACC. They beat Wake Forest. They beat NC State. No matter how much NC State or Wake Forest wins games, they'll never give the teams that beat them props for beating them. Look, man, if people go back to my Twitter and search my top 10 quarterbacks entering the season, I had Sam Hartman in the top 5. People are like, Sam Hartman who? Sam Hartman who? He's a damn good college quarterback. And he carved them. He carved Clemson. He threw 6 touchdown passes in that game last week that they lost in overtime to Clemson. And then this past week, he threw 3 more touchdowns against Florida State. And Florida State has a pretty good defense this year. So it's the perception of conferences. It's the perception of teams of them being, oh, man, that's Wake Forest. We don't care about Wake Forest. Last time we cared about Wake Forest, Tim Duncan was playing there, or Chris Paul was playing there, or Randolph Childress was playing there. You get what I'm going? Basketball school. So if you take a look at NC State, the last time we cared about NC State, Phillip Rivers was playing there, or Russell Wilson was playing there. You get what I'm saying? Decades ago. So these teams, no matter how good they are, no matter how good they perform, people are never going to give them their credit. But we here in Big Ten country will tell you till the cows come home how good Iowa is. Iowa. We'll tell you how good they are. We'll tell you how good Northwestern is. This ain't the year for Northwestern. Probably in 3 years, there'll be another 10-win season for Northwestern, and then they'll go back into the dumpsters again and be stinky. Then 5 years from then, they'll win 10 games. That's their MO. That's what they do. They get a whole bunch of guys, and then by the time they're seniors, they're real good at football. And then they got a whole bunch of freshmen, and then they build back up, and then they're good at football. It's a cycle that continues goes. And then people will tell you how good Minnesota is, and then they go ahead and get blown out by Purdue and everything like that. It's the perception of conferences. People ride coattails of others. People in the Big Ten are riding the coattails of Ohio State. Yep. People in the SEC are riding the coattails of Alabama and Georgia, because people are down there to tell you how good Vanderbilt is. You know, so no matter what, it's the perception. So NC State is a very good football team. So is Wake Forest. I agree with you 100%. Clemson should definitely be up there in conversation of teams that are going to make the college football playoff, because they have the best wins out of anybody.
Not just the best. I mean, they're the only team.
Wins, and we're talking wins.
Yeah.
And we talked about this, and I know you and I differ about this, but the whole fact that Texas got ranked because they played Alabama close is just laughable, because any other team that plays Alabama close, if they weren't named Texas, they wouldn't have got ranked. So that's the issue that I constantly have with college football. So I want to give Clemson their credit. They beat some good ranked teams.
You're just a big Dabo fan.
Hey! I'm a realist. I'm not rooting for them. Look, hey, man, Clemson has beat Ohio State a lot, and they beat my other team, Florida State, a lot. So I ain't got no love for them, but I'm gonna give credit when credit is due. They got the best wins out of anybody in college football. So if we're just gonna go strictly by who has the best wins, they could be number one. They could make an argument for number one in my case, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Scarlet and the Gray at number 1.
The Scarlet and Gray, they're number 1 because they pass every test. They haven't. Look, Notre Dame is not a good football team, but that, week 1, right off the bat, you're opening up against a respected power. Like, Notre Dame's not a great football program or not a good football team right now, but that's still better than any of the other opponents that Alabama, Georgia, and most of those other teams have played. Georgia took care of business in week 1 against Oregon. I give them that 100%, but Georgia has looked very bum since then. To me, Clemson, and let's be clear, it doesn't matter really what I think or Kevin thinks or you guys think. I'm telling you right now, I promise you, if the college football playoff rankings came out today, Clemson would be number 1 or number 2. Well, maybe not number 1, but they'd be number 2. Clemson would be number 2 in the very first college football playoff rankings if they came out today, just based on the history of the college football playoff rankings, because they reward those top 25. That's the big emphasis on them, is the quality of wins. That's the one talking point, Kev, that the college football playoff committee has never steered away from. Quality wins. And Clemson, and by the way, this isn't, they beat a top 25 team and then they fell out of the top 25. Like, Wake Forest remains in the top 25, even after losing to Clemson. NC State's still a top 25 team. And they don't just have the 2 best wins of the season. They've had their 2 best wins of the season in back-to-back weeks.
Right.
And Clemson plays, whether you want to give them credit for it or not, they actually do play a very good schedule. They play Miami later in the season. They play Notre Dame later in the season. They play good schedule. So I'm fine with what Clemson has done to this point. William Yelly on Facebook right off the bat. I mean, again, this is how everyone wins arguments on Facebook. My guy. I love when people put my guy at the end of things now, but Clemson and the whole ACC is garbage. My guy, William, your take is just, it's beyond garbage. It's really what most people find in the toilet after going number 2. That's how bad your take is. The ACC, all conferences are technically bad as a whole. You're only the SEC's carried by 2 programs. You take Georgia, and honestly, you take Alabama out. Georgia still technically is the face of the SEC, but Georgia's not untouchable. The MAC hung in there with them for a half, just not even 2 weeks ago. I'm not convinced that Georgia is untouchable. Alabama's offense is not very. Alabama almost lost on the road against a team in Texas with a backup quarterback. I mean, Alabama is basically the Cincinnati Bengals of the college football world. No, but is the ACC as a whole strong? No, but I think the ACC is better than the Big Ten. And I think
there's 3 good teams in the ACC right now. And I think there's 3 good teams in the Big Ten right now. Ohio State, that team up north, and Penn State. I think that Clemson, NC State, and Wake Forest are real good football teams. I don't think there's 3 good. Well, yeah, there's 3 good teams in the SEC. Georgia. I'm bigger on Tennessee than a lot of other people. I really like Hendon Hooker and that offense, and obviously
that's
Alabama.
One to look out for. I agree with you.
I look at that, but I mean, it's perception, man. It's perception. No matter what any other. Look how long it took for Clemson to get into this quote unquote elite club where people give them props. Look how long it took.
It was longer than 7 9.
It was like about 7 years. 7 years of consistently winning 10 games, winning big bowl games when bowl games still mattered, before people were like, okay, fine. And then it took them to blow Alabama out. To play Alabama close with Deshaun Watson, beat Alabama close, and then blow Alabama out before people was like, okay, yeah, they're good. They're allowed at the cool kid table. It's the same thing with every other thing. It's where we live. We will tell you that these schools that are in the Big Ten are this, that, and the third, and they're so good, and they're unmatched, and you can't beat them, and you got to watch out for them, yada, yada, yada. But the reality is, 9 times out of 10, there's 3 teams per conference that are really going to be contending for national championships.
Alabama moved from number 2 to number 1. Georgia dropped back. Ohio State stayed the same. Ohio State 10 first place votes. I just think it's ridiculous. If you're going to move Alabama past Georgia because Georgia didn't look so hot, Alabama has not done anything the last couple of weeks to show that they are significantly, like, Ohio State is bludgeoning teams. Oh, but they're bad teams. Yes, but Alabama's playing bad teams too, and they're giving up 30 points and 28 points and all this
What
stuff.
A workmanlike effort from the Buckeyes on Saturday. It was a classic. We're just going to work on the running game. Oh, Travion, you got a bum ankle. Well, guess what? You're going to go for 5 touchdowns, Mayan Williams. And we're not going to put our
Pete Johnson and Keith Byers.
Yeah, we're not going to sit back and drop back to pass a whole bunch. We're going to work on the run game this week. And not only work on the run game this week, work on the run game versus a Big Ten opponent.
So, and again, by the way, Ohio State, we'll break down that game. I really want to get into the, Greg Schiano against Ryan Day thing in a moment. I'm sorry, Ryan Day, but I don't think that our Papa John's looking coach is going to beat Greg Schiano in a fight. I'm sorry. He can out draw play with the best of them, but I'm just saying. But Alabama moved up from number 2 to number 1. Georgia 1 to 2 with their win. Ohio State remains at 3, but Michigan stays at 4. Clemson didn't move at all. Clemson has 2 top 25 wins, back-to-back weeks, a top 10 win, and didn't move at all. Michigan does not deserve to be at number 4. Clemson does. The 4 best teams in the country in no particular order: Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, and Clemson. Clemson deserves way more respect than what Michigan is getting. I don't even understand what Michigan is doing to deserve the respect that they are getting. And it's not even about respect. We can still respect Michigan and still say that Clemson is being disrespected by having Michigan ahead of them. I don't think Michigan should be ahead of anyone like Clemson right now. I'm fine with Michigan being ahead of USC and Oklahoma State and others. They all have holes within their resumes of not beating anyone of significance. But Clemson, man, 2 top 25 wins, 2 active top 25 wins. I don't know how you can sit there and convince me otherwise. And saying the ACC is garbage, every conference is garbage. I just saw Jacob Fightmaster, I believe is his name, on StreamYard.
Fightmaster.
Yeah, that's a cool name, by the way. Just lost it, man. People, okay, there it is. Fightmaster. I would say look at the bottom 4 teams of each conference. Which conference has the best of the worst? Jacob, I get what you're saying too, but I also don't think that matters. That doesn't change the fact that 2 of the top teams in the country, Clemson just beat in back-to-back weeks, including this past Sunday or Saturday night in a primetime game under the lights against NC State. And if NC State would have beat Clemson, NC State would have shot up 4 or 5 spots. In fact, NC State would probably be at number 5 right now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so if
there goes my sneak pick for making the college football playoff.
But it wasn't a bad one. Now, kudos to you, because I didn't keep track of them. But NC State, if NC State beats Clemson, we're going to move them up 4 or 5 spots because that's a good win.
Right.
But Clemson beats NC State, the top 10 opponent, and we just say, well, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. No, it's not what you're supposed to do. It is what you're supposed to do, but like you should be rewarded for that. Michigan's being rewarded for beating bums, and Clemson's actually beating teams, and they're being held back. Again, I'm getting worked up over something I make fun of other people for getting mad at, but I think this is crazy. I do. 518-1410. Kev, who we have?
Let's go to Shaw on line 3.
All right, let's go to Shaw. Shaw, kick us off. How are you?
Not bad. How about you guys?
Chilling.
I'm good, but I anticipate you're about to ruin my day.
You give me no credit, dude. First off, I don't have Michigan in my own top 15. I don't have them at number 4. I have them around number 6. I have USC higher than them. I have Oklahoma.
All right, well, let me stop you right there. My apologies. I thought you were going to convince me that they should have the national championship handed to them. No, I'm joking. But my apologies. I thought you were going to argue otherwise, so kudos to you so far.
No, right. I'm on the complete opposite side of this Michigan football team, but, I'll get into that at another time. That's not what I called for. The problem with the whole thing, and I've said it probably a couple years in a row now, it's the darn preseason rankings. Let the first month play out, and around right now, maybe even next week, that's where the first set of rankings should come out. You want to know why Michigan's number 4 in the country? Because they were so darn high at the beginning of the season. You want to know why all these teams that aren't respected right now are getting disrespected, like Clemson and everybody else? Because they were ranked so low at the beginning of the season. Look, where's Notre Dame right now? Where's Pittsburgh? Where's all these other teams that were so hot commodities coming into the season? Texas A&M. And where are they now? And look at all the teams that are not getting talked about: Wake Forest, NC State, Oklahoma State, Kansas. And yes, I know Kansas, but look at what they've done the first 4 weeks of the season, going on the road, playing teams on the road, and actually handling their business. TCU, for that matter.
Look at what's going on in the Pac-12.
Pac-12. Washington, yes, they lost to UCLA. Throw in UCLA in there. USC. Washington State rolling into Madison, helping Chris get fired. It makes me sick. And yeah, Kenner, I agree with you, and Justin too. Outside of the top 3 in the Big Ten is absolute hot garbage.
You
it's
agree
absolute.
Never mind. Keep going.
Yes, I agree with you.
Both of them.
They are absolute garbage. And we're going to find out next week when Penn State rolls into Ann Arbor, whether that team is for real or not, and it very well might be 2 teams in the Big Ten.
You're right. See, the thing is with the rankings, these are here for the TV networks because they can promote top 10 matchups earlier in the season. The real ranking that matters is the college football playoff rankings, which don't come out until what? November 2nd.
My birthday, by the way. Greatest day
So
in the history
those
of
are
the
the real rankings that really matter. So technically, these don't matter. But we still look at them because we love rankings. We love numbers. We love putting people on the list, who's good, who isn't. And that's my biggest thing with college football. People will tell you till they're blue in the face. Somebody told me a couple of weeks ago that Georgia didn't play anybody last year. I was like, wait, they won the national championship and they still didn't play anybody? And they sat there with a straight face and told me, yeah. So, like, that'll tell you exactly where we are with college football.
I agree with you that the real rankings don't come out to the CFP, but my problem with the rankings right now is that's what the CFP is based off.
Is it?
Yeah. When the rankings come out, Kenner, I agree with you. Clemson will probably be 2nd or 3rd. But look at the AP rankings for the first 4, 5, 6 weeks, however it's been, and then look at the college football playoff rankings.
They're never the same.
Like
the college football playoff rankings always try to differentiate. I think last year was the first time in the 8 years that the AP and the college football playoff were the exact same as far as the top 4. That was the first time that had happened. But other than that, the college football playoff committee always, I don't want to say throws a wrinkle, but their criteria is different than what the conglomerate of voters is concerned for the AP.
The top 6, yeah, I'll agree with you. The top 6, they do their homework on those top 6, maybe even the top 10. Outside of that, it's cut and paste.
Yeah. Shaw, 20 seconds. I don't mean to rush you, but we got other callers too.
No,
so.
You're fine. I get it. You're up against it. I'm with you guys 110%. There are more teams at college football than just the Midwest and down south with the SEC, the ACC. Everybody plays football in this country, and some people need to pay attention to some teams outside of what they think are the top teams in this country. You guys are doing a good job. See you guys later, and we'll talk later. All right, peace. Go Blue.
He said we'll talk later. I don't know. He threatened me.
He said go Blue. Goodness.
Someone said that. So today, or we did the Buckeye pregame show at Submarine House in Beaver Creek this past week, and
I was listening.
They have Michigan fans there, a lot of Michigan fans, and Keith didn't miss a beat. He was in his element there. They yelled "Go Blue" at him, and he said, "How do you spell that? BLEW?" I'm like, "Oh Jesus, what are we doing?" Then he asked them all if they knew how to get to Michigan. You just keep heading south until you smell it, and go west until you step in it. So he had that line ready. You know, they're used to just getting punched on by the Buckeye. So there you go. Jacob Fightmaster. This is rare that Shaw is getting a lot of support, but and by the way, Shaw, I thought he was calling in to argue. I was not ready for that, to be honest. Totally agree with Shaw. This comes from Jacob Fightmaster. Fightmaster has to be the coolest name of all the listeners. I'm just saying, coming from a Michigan fan, do away with the rankings early on. I'd even say wait till half of the season when most teams are done with cupcake teams. Yeah, that's always been my thing too. And by the way, that'll never happen only because keep in mind the AP is not technically a college football affiliated thing, right? Like that's its own entity. That is something that they have mastered the art of generating revenue and interest off of, and that will go nowhere in football. It's not as long as we're talking about it, they're cool with it.
Yeah. I mean, this is just another promotional tool for college football. Everybody has rankings. Like you and I, we have our top 10s. Nobody's paying us to do it. It's talking points. They got theirs. Well, I'm gonna show you ours. You know.
So, yeah. 518-1410. Kev, who's up next?
We got Jeff, line 1.
Let's go to Jeff. Jeff, how are you, sir?
Guys, how are you? Love listening to you.
Appreciate that. How are you? Things. I'm doing good. How are you?
Well, I'm confused. Here's what's got me all jacked up. You know, the Buckeyes are rolling everybody, and they're looking pretty good doing it. But how many teams, guys, go into a game and they're playing Wisconsin? And I know Wisconsin obviously looks a little down. They got rid of their coach. And that 2 Heisman Trophy candidates not even in the lineup. Travion Henderson and Jackson Smith and Jigman aren't even playing. Now, why, that Mayan Williams had 189 yards and 5 touchdowns. But I think when we play a Georgia or an Alabama or a Penn State or a Michigan, we're going to need our main guys, even the guys on defense that aren't playing. Cam Brown's out. And, a couple weeks ago, Denzel Burke didn't dress or didn't play.
Right.
We need to get these guys. We need to get our top 11 guys on defense and offense in the game and ready to go. Maybe they're just holding back, but I think somebody's in Jackson Smith and Jigma's ear thinking, Bud, you're going to be a top 5 pick regardless of what you've done so far. Why would you play again? I hope I'm dead wrong, but boy, he sure doesn't seem like he's in any hurry to get back, or they're in any hurry to have him back.
Jeff, I understand what you're saying, but I look at these as one of those good problems because Ohio State is so stacked and has so much talent. When Jackson Smith and Jigba does come back, guess what? It's just going to make them even better. Going to make them better. And there's no need to rush them back because a hamstring, why rush them back versus teams that you're going to beat? Let us be real here, man.
Yeah.
Like I am one of those people that always comes with the respect your opponent, come out every play. But like the only teams out there that I'm looking at on Ohio State's schedule that I am weary of is that team up north in Penn State.
I agree. I'm
like
with you on that 100%.
We go out there and get these younger guys a ton of reps and get everybody healthy and playing at 100% when we really need them. That's going to create bigger problems for the other opponents because they're going to have to worry about Marvin Harrison Jr. and Buka and all the other guys and Mayan Williams. But then guess what? When we drop Travion Henderson back into the mix and then Smith and Jigba back in the mix, that's just more problems and more headaches for them to deal with as they prepare for us. And then we unleash our offensive arsenal on them and beat them down because we are winning the Natty this year.
Well, I hope so. I think this is Ryan Day's best team and best chance. Obviously, the defense has improved leaps and bounds over the last 2 years. It's like, I mean, you don't even look like it's the same team. But I want them to get these guys healthy, and I want to see the best. I mean, man, that's some great players that just keep sitting week after week. And I know Ryan Day is doing that Tuesday and Wednesday full pad practice, but my buddy will text me Saturday morning, here's the guys that are out, Cam Brown. It's like every Saturday I'm like, because I ref soccer and I Uber drive and I do a courier route. So I'm always working, just trying to get to a game. And then I get this text from my buddy, this guy's out and this guy's out. And it's like, man, I'd love to see the full Monty. And you're probably right, Kevin. Those are the two teams, the games at Penn State, that's going to could potentially be a tight game. And then the Michigan game, of course, is at home. But, boy, I think they could be really dangerous if they get everybody healthy. And maybe they're just trying to get everybody healthy.
And Jeff, thank you, man. Appreciate the call. He brings up a good point, too. And, like, my problem is like a lot of things right now just don't seem like a big deal because of the opponents that Ohio State has. So, having Njigba out this game, who cares? Not having – I mean – I think Stroud, if you would have told me, I did this exercise with buyers yesterday. I said, if you would have told me that Travion Henderson and Jackson Smith and Jigba weren't going to play, if I was to tell you that the game yesterday or on Saturday would have had CJ Stroud only throwing for 150 yards and only throwing for like 19 times in a game, what would you have thought? What would you thought the outcome would be? Either barely sneaking by, or getting beat. And they bludgeoned a team by 40 and probably could have kept going. They played all backups in the fourth quarter. So sometimes Ohio State, my fear is they could be a victim of their own success. If not having these guys all season, maybe when you do get them at the end of the year, if you get them all back at one time, not chemistry issues, but just, at what point you need to get them back. I'd say one more, 518-1410. Let's go to another one.
Tim.
What up, Tim? How are you, sir?
Hey, pretty good. Hey, one thing about
Packers
Alabama.
fan Tim, congratulations yesterday, by the way.
Oh, hey, they're sneaking by, man. They're struggling, but they're sneaking by. Hey, but Bama just put 49 points on Arkansas on the road. I thought that was pretty impressive, and I can see them leaping Georgia, and I wouldn't, dismiss that offense yet of Bama. 49 points on the road at Arkansas. That's an SEC team. I think Bama might be a little bit better. And one
Oh,
of the
fair.
things
And by
you
the way,
talked
Tim,
about,
I agree with you. That, and to me, maybe I wasn't respecting the Arkansas win as much as I should. But
Bryce
it's just
Young
like,
got hurt.
but Bryce Young, went out and they still were able to roll. But it's like one of those where it's like Alabama, you should do that, right? But in the last couple of weeks, there's been a lot of talk of just like wide receivers for Alabama not being able to create separation. Like this isn't a team that is guaranteed to get a point. Like if they face a legit opponent. And maybe they did in Arkansas, but, they still put 50 up on Arkansas, as you talked about. But you are right. I guess my point is we reward Alabama and we move Georgia around from here and there. But like Ohio State's just bludgeoning opponents every single week. And they're just sitting there number 3. I think they're the number 1 team. But you do bring up a good point. That Arkansas win was impressive. Should have put more love on that one. You are right.
All right, guys. Good show.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. My bad. I didn't mean to hijack his call. That I did not forget. I knew they played Arkansas, but Arkansas is a good football team. Arkansas is another one that I think because the SEC gets so much love that we're hesitant to give them love because, just another SEC team that's been a good feel-good story as far as that's concerned. But, all right, 518-1410, thoughts on everything we just discussed. It's a long conversation. We can keep it going. I do want to talk about Ohio State a little bit more with what the previous caller, 2 callers ago, Jeff alluded to. The issues that we are seeing right now with the Buckeyes health-wise, they haven't seemed to be issues because this team just keeps rolling. They don't miss a beat. But that's kind of where we're at right now. All right. I tell you what, I feel like giving out some money.
Cash me out.
It's been a much better hour. Less. I took care of Bengals fans in the first hour. I put them in their place, and they said, "You're right, Kenner. We were wrong. You were right." Like we always agree that I'm right and they're wrong. It's just what we do.
Interesting.
I put them in their place. They're taken care of. Had a much better second hour, and I feel like giving out some money. It's the Kenner's Cash contest. I am giving out $2,000 every single day of my money. Boston said, let's give out 1,000 today. I said, no. I actually like my listeners. Even though they don't like me, I like them. Let's do 2,000 a day. So that's what we're doing. $2,000. It's the Kenner's Cash contest. Head to wingam.com and enter the winning word trick. Shut up. That's a trick is the winning word. TRICK. So
it's a famous song that once came out.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So go enter the word trick at wingam.com for your chance to win $2,000. It's the Kenner's Cash contest. Giving out $2,000 a day. Be listening for the winning word from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So there you go. All right, we'll step away for a few moments. More Buckeye chatter. Ohio State, again, took care of business over the weekend. But Wisconsin, they fired their head coach. That was a big talking point, of course. But looking at the rest of the landscape of college football, we'll get into that. Back into some NFL stuff. Baseball, Cavs, Cleveland Guardians. When will they play next? Or when will the first playoff game be? We'll talk
Friday,
about
sometime on Friday.
We got a lot to go. We'll be right back. 518-1410. Phone line's open.
Here comes the new kid on the block. Hold all your bets. Here's where the buck stops. See, first of all, I'm stepping out on my own. About time I elevated to claim my own throne. Success in my blood.
The Justin Kenner Show with Kev Nash. Presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-743-8080. That's 1-800-743-8080.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Make sure your home's heating and cooling system is in shape for the season with the experts and community trusted service that you can rely on from William Brockman & Sons Heating and Air Conditioning. We're offering exclusive savings opportunities on the new Lennox system. Call William Brockman & Sons Heating and Air Conditioning at 937-222-8638 today or visit us online at DaytonHeatingandCooling.com. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. Ohio license number 14911.
Germain Honda Beaver Creek is your local Honda dealer. If you've been waiting to buy, now is the time. For a limited time, we have 22 Honda Passports and 22 Honda Pilots with financing as low as 1.9% and 2022 Honda Ridgelines with financing as low as 2.9%. Remember, we can get the Honda you're looking for. We are taking deposits on current scheduled in-build new Hondas every day. See me, Sales Manager Jason High, for all the details. We're on Route 35 just east of 675 between Xenia and Beaver Creek. Germain Honda Beaver Creek, the right car, the right price, the right way.
The Western Ohio Homebuilders Association invites you to the Fall Parade of Homes, Saturday and Sunday, October 15th and 16th, from noon to 4 p.m. each day. Presented by Minster Bank, this free event will feature 10 beautifully designed homes for you to tour in Miami, Shelby, and Darke County. Visit our website to see 5 additional virtual home tours. Whether you're in the market to build your dream home or remodel the home you already love, you are sure to find it at the Fall Parade of Homes. Visit us at poh.westernohiohba.com.
Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken is excited to announce their new delicious spicy bourbon chicken sandwich is here. It's the best of both worlds. Their spicy bourbon dippers that you love brought into a sandwich you'll crave. It's made with their famous spicy chicken sandwich, smothered in their special bourbon barbecue sauce, dripping with flavor on a brioche bun. Enjoy it in a combo with your favorite side and a drink, priced just right at only $6.99 and only available at Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken Miami Valley locations. Lee's, famous for spicy bourbon chicken.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places what you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week, there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer's selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really, desks from $50 to $5,000. Filing cabinets from $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 McOil Avenue, Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
Have you heard? $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring Class A CDL drivers for home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight with brand new equipment, and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, company 401k. Plus, they're now hiring recent truck driving school graduates. Apply today. Online at CordellTransportation.com. Driven to succeed.
Is there a calculator that can't compute in your kitchen drawer? Recycle it at Staples. A shredder that won't shred under your bed? Or a collection of cables cluttering up your closet? Recycle them now at Staples. With Staples Free Tech Take-Back, we'll recycle your old tech free. Plus, rewards members get $5 back in rewards. So if you have modems, mice, and mobile phones making a mess of your home, recycle them now at Staples. Limit 1 reward per month. Redeemable in-store only. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/recycling for details.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The best audio entertainment this fall is on Audible. It's the home of storytelling with audiobooks, exclusive originals, popular podcasts, and more. All in one app. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.
The YMCA is just a starting line. For the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick below the surface. My why is diversity in unity, a safe space in my community living with sincerity, giving every day my everything. With my why, I stand strong, seen and supported all along. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your why. Learn more at ymca.org for a better us.
I had a nighttime routine for my frequent heartburn. I would drink milk, I would sleep upright with more pillows, but that painful burning stayed. So I made Prilosec OTC part of my morning routine. With just one pill in the morning, Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid production, blocking heartburn day and night. Now I have a new nighttime routine. I call it sleeping.
One pill, 24 hours, zero heartburn. With Prilosec OTC. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Today on Hey Culligan, reverse to reduce. Here's Bob.
Hey Culligan, I love fresh water, but I got plastic bottles coming out.
Whoa, Bob, you are not kidding about the bottles. But did you know Culligan's reverse osmosis and always-on drinking water systems provide fresh, clean, delicious drinking water and help reduce the equivalent of over 15 billion plastic bottles from landfills worldwide?
Holy fresh, environmentally friendly drinking water. Am I right?
Right, Bob. And we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Like bones, your teeth lose density and become weaker over time, which can lead to tooth decay. And that can make your visit to the dentist feel like this. But if you want your dental visit to feel like this, try Crest Densify. Crest Densify actively rebuilds tooth density to extend the life of teeth by remineralizing enamel. Densify from Crest, the #1 toothpaste brand in America. Smile, Crest has you covered.
Many Vietnam War veterans were unknowingly exposed to dangerous chemicals impacting their health and quality of life. There are now expanded benefits for veterans exposed to Agent Orange. Veterans with Parkinsonism, bladder cancer, or hypothyroidism who previously applied for VA disability compensation but were denied should reapply and might be eligible for retroactive compensation. Exposed veterans who have not yet applied should consider filing a new claim. For assistance, call Montgomery County Veterans Service Commission at 937-225-4801.
If you need to hire, you need Indeed, because Indeed's all-in-one hiring solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
WING 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio.
Hour number 3, Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. 518-1410, 518-1410. That's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. Get ready, Ohio. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming to the Buckeyes state. And to kick things off, you can get started with $100 in free bets as an early sign-up bonus. Plus, when you sign up today with my promo code Kinner, Kinner, you'll be all set for when FanDuel goes live in Ohio starting January 1st of 2023. Then you can bet on all of your favorite teams and all of your favorite sports with $100 in free bets. It's that simple. Download the FanDuel app right now and make sure you register. Even though you can't start placing bets right now until the beginning of the year, it's still important to get the app downloaded, get your account registered, and use my promo code Kinner so that right off the bat, starting January 1st, you have $100 that you can already start losing right off the bat, right? Like if you follow my advice, I tried to be all Mr. FanDuel yesterday and put out my 3 bets. I was 0 for freaking 3. So you may not have to follow all of my betting advice, but you could at least use my name to get $100 in free bets. Download the FanDuel app right now. Use my promo code Kinner to get $100 in free bets. It's safe, it's secure, and it's super easy to use. Ohio, this is your chance to get in on the action. Join today with promo code Kinner. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, here's the deal. Here's my the best sports gambling advice I can give you. Always bet against your team. Always bet against your team. Because, like, let's use the Browns, for instance, yesterday. If I would have bet that the Browns would have lost yesterday, all right, I'm bummed because my team lost, but I'm happy because I won money. Now, if my team wins and I lose money, at least my team wins. You're not going to bet upset. You're not going to bet angry. You might go to bed poor, depending on how aggressive you are on your bet, But you will never go to bed upset or angry, Kev, because either you're going to bed because you're going to bed happy because you made money, or you're going to bed happy because your team won that day. I'm telling you what, if I would have bet on the Browns game yesterday, like actual live legal money, I'm just saying I would have gone to bed upset that my team lost, but happy because I made some moolah, right? Always bet against you. That's the best sports betting advice I can give you. Always pick against your team. Ohio State, Alabama national championship game. That's when, of course, sports betting will be legal. I hope that my first legal bet is me betting on Alabama to win the national championship, because if Alabama wins and I win money, I'm happy. But if the Buckeyes win and I lose money, who cares? The Buckeyes are national champions. Download the FanDuel Sports app right now and use promo code Kinner, KINNER, for a free $100 in free bets. Come on, FanDuel, let's go, baby.
Or you could bet on the Buckeyes and the Buckeyes win and win money and be happy they won the Natty.
No, because then if you bet, but here's why, Kev, because then if you bet for the Buckeyes to win and then they lose, now your team lost and you lost money. That's why you don't bet on your team to win. You always bet against them. That way, no matter what, something good happens to end your day.
Hedging your bets.
But it makes sense. It makes sense. Sorry. All right. Look, it's our guy, Chris Schulp. I haven't blocked on my page. I'm letting him stay on the ESPN page for a little longer until but he did say, I agree with that betting advice, Kinner. It's a win-win.
Look at you guys.
Oh, yeah. Him and I are real tight.
Tight.
We're best friends. He was the best man at my wedding. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
You don't block people, though.
I block him because he makes it personal. And I'm fine if you – actually, some guy did call me a D-bag yesterday. I didn't block him, but when I went to go respond, he had already deleted it, so he saw the error in his ways. I don't block people. Chris is the only guy I've blocked.
Wow.
I don't, because I dish it, so I can't be a tyrant. I can't be the agitator and then get mad when people come back at me. But in Chris's case, he made it personal. He always has to make it personal, and that's why I just wasn't dealing with it. Talking NFL, talking college football, that fun stuff. 518-1410, that's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. I want to get back into this Ohio State conversation coming up here in just a moment, because I had a discussion about when a doctor clears you to play, what is the percentage of health that you need to be for a doctor to clear you to play? I had this conversation with Keith Byers. I'll get to that in a moment. 518-1410. Kev, who do we have?
Raiders fan, Jerry.
Oh, Jerry. It's funny. I was like, where's Jerry been the last 3 weeks? 3 weeks we have not heard from Jerry. And I was like, what was it about those 3 weeks? Oh, yeah, your team lost. But look at you. You're 1-3, and look who calls in. Jerry, how are you?
Well, first of all, gentlemen, let's be clear. Yes. I was going to call last week and take my medicine, but you guys weren't on the air at 5 o'clock. I get off at 5, dude. So
you have one of them real jobs, I see. Yes.
Yeah,
the Reds must have played that game.
there is that. If you're on after 5, I can call. I can't.
No, I don't know. I like my theory better. You just don't call it. You're Steve. You're the Raiders version of Steve from Springboro.
No. Yeah, I called. Last year when we lost the playoff game to Cincinnati, did I not call and take my medicine? Right. I didn't even blame it on the refs. Let's be honest. Come on now. That's not me. I take my lumps.
Yeah, Kenner.
And really, we won yesterday, but we beat a really bad Denver team. So it's not like I can be all. I'm not gloating about yesterday.
Wins a win.
We beat a bad team.
Wins a win.
So yeah, it is, but yeah, we're still not looking very good. Me and Kev Nash's team got a lot in common. Got some parts that could be good, but the overall whole, just that cake ain't baked yet. So we'll see.
Hold on. I understand why Kev's team is bad. There's no reason why the team is in the playoffs. You add arguably the best receiver in football. How is your team that bad?
It's just we haven't meshed. The offensive line isn't good, first of all. Let's be honest with that. And second of all, I don't know, man. It just hasn't clicked. We've been in games. We haven't been blown out. There was a couple games we really should have won. When your all-pro tight end not only drops a pass in the end zone, but it bounces off his hands and gets picked off, you're going to lose games doing that.
Your head coach. Your head
And
coach
that
did
could
not
be
have
too.
your,
I mean,
your
head
head
coach-
coach did not have a good run the first time. And I actually like McDaniels. I'm hoping it's not him, but he
Right.
got so much build over the years as the
But
heir
it
apparent
could
to
be.
Bill Belichick. And, I thought this
Yep.
was a good job to leave for, to be honest with you. I don't think it was a bad job. I think it made more sense than when he tried to take I think it was it the Colts or the Denver job a few years ago? Either way, but I can't remember which one it was.
He did the Denver job,
Colts,
and
and
then
then
the
he
Colts
left
and
him
he
at the
said,
altar.
"No,
Yeah,
I'm
he
good."
backed out on the Colts.
Which, by the
Yeah.
way, everyone ripped him for that. I still thought I was smart when he did that back then, but it's not the point. I hope it's not him. I know things didn't go well in Denver when he tried it the first time, but man, this is a very good loaded roster. The offensive line is the issue. I know it's a good division, but that division's not good right now, 4 weeks in. Kansas City, obviously, this is still the team to beat.
And thank God for that. So, but man, the reason I was calling is, speaking of coaching problems, right? Man, you guys should have won that game. Browns should. I should be clarifying. The Browns, I think, should have won that game. Why weren't you guys running? Why wasn't your coach calling more plays for Chubb?
If you think they lost that game because of offense, I don't know what to tell you. They didn't lose that game because of offense. They didn't make I'm not saying Stefanski called the best game, but at the same time, I mean, offensively, they were moving the ball. They're putting the ball in the end zone, but they gave up 170 rushing yards in the second half alone. When that happens, that you're not going to win football games. When you can't run the football and you can't stop the run, a lot of bad things are going to happen. The Browns can run the football. And they needed to run more, yes, but they trailed in a good chunk of that ball game whenever Atlanta took the lead late. I'm not making too many excuses for Stefanski on the offensive side. I don't think he did that bad a job. People are focusing on giving up the field goal to go for it in the first quarter. I had no issue with that, because had they won that football game or got bailed out in the fourth quarter and came back and won, we're not talking about that. Coaches are aggressive all the time. You can't anticipate 3 quarters from now losing by 3. I don't know. I'm not that big on ripping him for that at all. The defense is the problem. Joe Woods is the problem.
Well, that is part of the problem. I mean, of course, you didn't have Myles Garrett. Let's be honest; he's
You didn't
a
have
big
Myles
eraser
Garrett,
out there
Jadeveon
too.
Clowney. The whole defensive line was out, not just those two. The whole defensive line.
So that was part of the problem. But I mean, given that, and I mean, I think Chubb still averaged 6 yards a carry or something like that.
I mean, Chubb's still the number one rusher in football.
Oh my gosh!
So,
like with that dude, man, I don't know. Especially if your defensive line is banged up, I'm handing it to that dude 30 times. That's just me. I guess I'm a little old school that way, but man, he is a baller, no doubt about it. Well, if nothing else, look at it this way: you guys are still in really good shape, given the Watson situation and the injuries you've had. I mean, dude, you guys are still right there tied for first place. I mean, he would have thought that at the beginning of the year, right?
No, the problem is they got the Bucks, they got the Ravens, they got a lot of tough teams coming up before they get Deshaun Watson back. So I think that when the Browns missed the playoffs by 2 games this year, we're going to look back. I'm going to look back and circle that Jets loss that they had a double-digit lead with a minute and a half to go. And I'm going to circle this game, even though, there's a lot of you give up 170 yards in the second half on the ground. You're not going to win that football game, but you should still have enough to stop a Falcons team from running the ball down your throat like that. So these 2 losses are brutal. The 2 wins they should have had those wins, but they also should have won these last 2. This team should be 4-0 right now, and this Chargers team is beatable, but I'm just wondering what's left mentally of this team. I think that it could start to snowball out of control if they lose to the Chargers this coming up Sunday, which I'll be at that game. I'm really hoping I'm not there to see a disaster. That's what I'm really worried about.
Man, I think you guys are going to win that game. I mean, first of all, look, the Chargers coach is still the Chargers coach. He's terrible. And they're banged up, too. I think Bosa's out. Keenan Allen's out. They're going to be a depleted team, and you've got Herbert. He's playing hurt.
Yeah, Herbert looked great yesterday. Herbert's a great quarterback. He's the best. I'm a huge Justin Herbert fan. I think the kid's fantastic. I think he's playing through that rib injury, and he looked fantastic yesterday. But I'm still worried about it. But Jerry, good hearing from you.
All right, gentlemen. You have a good rest of your week.
Yes, sir.
All right, adios. 518-1410. That's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. All right, we'll step away for a few moments, pick up with this on the other side, Kev. But first of all, I'll give you my 3 most surprising results, my most surprising high school football result in the Miami Valley from this past Friday night, most surprising college football result from this past Saturday, and most surprising NFL game result from this past Sunday. That's coming up. Plus, Kev, I talked about this with Keith Byers. It pertains to the Ohio State Buckeyes. Keith played through some injuries late in his career. And it kind of ties into what's going on with Ohio State. It kind of ties into what's going on in the NFL with this Tua Tagovailoa situation. Had a doctor's appointment today. My doctor had a lot of great insight as to why the doctor that was fired by the NFL could be having some nice chunk of change coming his way. He's in line for a nice little lawsuit because maybe it wasn't head trauma that led to a lot of this. We're going to talk about all that. We got a lot to get into in the final 40 minutes of the show. 518-1410, more of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash when we come back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
The mid-afternoon and early evening will be clear and sunny, a high near 70. Tonight's going to be mostly clear, a low near 40. And tomorrow's going to be clear and sunny, a high near 72. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Get what you want and pay over time when you use your Lowe's Advantage Card. Now through October 26, 2022. Ask for 0% APR with 36 fixed monthly payments on a product installation or appliance purchase of $1,000 or more. Shop for the appliances you want in-store or online. Or go to the store nearest you for installation. Now at Lowe's. Offer subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store Lowe's.com for details. U.S. only.
According to labor statistics, there are over 37,000 jobs in the Dayton region going unfilled. Many are good-paying jobs, essential to our society that do not require a college degree. Find the career path that's right for you and your bank account. Go to BeTheEssential.com. There you'll find links to trade schools and career tech centers that can train you in a fraction of the time and cost. It's also where you'll find caring companies willing to provide a fulfilling career that can last a lifetime. Find your future, not just the job. Go to BeTheEssential.com.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter code IMPACT at checkout. That's harrys.com, code IMPACT. Enjoy!
Don't put it off any longer. You know it's time. Time for a bathroom upgrade by Bath Creations. Bath Creations is a leader in bathroom renovations, providing the very best value in bath and shower remodeling and proudly made in the USA. With Bath Creations, you get a beautiful modern bathroom that's safe, comfortable, and affordable. Attention first responders, veterans, and active military. Save $500 off your purchase right now. Visit Poe Avenue in Dayton or online at mybathcreations.com. And upgrade today.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
Hungry for a great time, maybe some great food? Then come on down to your neighborhood Submarine House. Try our Philly cheesesteaks, our oven-toasted deli subs, our mouth-watering salads, pizzas, appetizers, and more. And wash them down with a unique selection of craft beers while watching the big game on our big screens. With locations around Dayton, in Columbus, and our newest sports bar in Kettering, you're never far from a Submarine House. Subs, sports, spirits. Submarine House.
Hi, I'm Sales Manager Jason High at Germain Honda Beaver Creek, proud recipient of the prestigious President's Award. We are your local Honda dealer, and we invite you to see our newly renovated state-of-the-art facility. You'll be amazed at our selection, and remember, all new Hondas come with a lifetime powertrain warranty. Visit us at Route 35, just east of 675, conveniently located near Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Germain Honda Beaver Creek, the right car, the right price, the right way. I'll see you soon.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Tamron Hall. Doesn't your family deserve the best? Eggland's best eggs, classic, cage-free, and organic, give you and your family more delicious farm fresh taste plus superior nutrition. Compared to ordinary eggs, Eggland's Best provides 6 times more vitamin D, 10 times more vitamin E, and 25% less saturated fat. These are no ordinary times, so why choose an ordinary egg? Only Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
My heart was racing just making spaghetti. I could have waited to tell my doctor, but I didn't wait.
I was short of breath just reading a book. I could have delayed telling my doctor, but I didn't wait.
They told their doctors and found out they have atrial fibrillation, a condition which makes it about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you have one or more of these symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, this is no time to wait. Contact your doctor.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
If you need to hire, you need Indeed, because Indeed's all-in-one hiring solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Byers Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, back with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. I don't know why the cameras are behind here. I just did like a Chris Collinsworth slide in on the broadcast for those watching on Facebook and YouTube, but there you go. So my good friend Chris Schultz, for the time being, says,
buddies,
are you guys going to broadcast from the Centerville Submarine House anytime soon? As a matter of fact, yes, not this week, not this Saturday, for the Michigan State game, but the following Saturday. Actually, the following Saturday is the bye week. October 22nd, Keith Byers and I will be live at Submarine House in Centerville for the Buckeye pregame show, an hour and a half before the kickoff to the Iowa game. We just don't know what time the Iowa game is at the moment. I don't believe that's come out yet.
Not yet.
We will be at Submarine House in Kettering this coming up Saturday, of course, Ohio State playing at Michigan State, and we will be there from 2:30 until 4 o'clock. I mean, doing the pregame show live. We always hang out for the first half of the game. We got to take in Beaver Creek this past weekend. Really cool spot location out there. Shout out to our server, Angie. She did an awesome job. But a lot of people showed up for that. Appreciate that. And we'll be back at Kettering, back at Centerville again for the Iowa game coming up here in a few weeks as well. So, little baseball conversation here, Kev. The Houston Astros are the first team in American League history to win 100 games in 4 out of 5 full seasons.
Impressive.
I mean, I know a lot is to be made about the Houston Astros when it comes to the cheating scandal and all that stuff. And rightfully so, by the way. I'm not condoning what they did, but I also believe I'm going to have the same take with them that I did with the New England Patriots and others. If you think that the New England Patriots were winning Super Bowls because of flattened footballs, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? Like, and if you think that the Houston Astros are winning 100 games because of banging on trash cans, I also don't know what to tell you. You want to be morally outraged with them, that's fine. But I do think that, look, Houston needs to win another World Series to really get credit, to be viewed as one of the all-time great teams. But what they have done to overcome the scandal and to overcome all the negative attention that came their way, Dusty Baker, this right here makes up for the fact that this team he has not won a World Series in his lifetime. I want him to win one. You don't want to hear this, but I want Houston to win one. Not because I like Houston, not because I'm a supporter of a cheating organization. Dusty Baker is one of the most disrespected managers, probably the most disrespected manager in the history of baseball. I think he is the most underrated manager in the history of baseball. Where he goes, teams win. I know that there are flaws that come at the most important time of the season that always seem to be dredged up. But baseball is the hardest sport to win a championship in. The NFL is the easiest. The NBA, second easiest. Baseball is the hardest. NHL, I'll be fair to them. I don't follow NHL enough to understand. Like, help me out, hockey fans. You could jump in. I don't know much about hockey to understand like how quickly a team can turn things around. Help me out with that. NBA, you can go buy 2 or 3 star players in free agency. Boom, you're a title contender, right? NFL, the Bengals, 2 wins. They go from 2 wins one season or 4 wins, 6 wins in 2 years to being in the Super Bowl the very next year. It's not easy to get to a Super Bowl, but it's also not that hard. You just got to do a lot of things correctly, right? And you have to give effort. Not everyone in baseball gives effort. I think it's the most difficult sport to win a championship, and it's tough. Dusty Baker is the most underrated manager in the history of baseball, in my opinion. I'm kind of pulling for him to win a World Series this year. I know you don't want to hear that, Kev, being a Guardians fan, but I'm just being honest with you.
I understand where you're coming from. I get it, man. Dusty Baker is one heck of a manager. He's been at it a long time. I mean, he's out there double wristbanded up for quite a long time. I wouldn't mind seeing him get himself a World Series as a manager, but I can't root for the Astros simply because my team is in the mix to win it. So I'll be rooting for my team.
If the Reds were in, I would be like, yeah, Dusty, you couldn't get it done. David Bell's going to get it done. David Bell.
I got to commend you, man. We've been through an entire baseball season, and the name David Bell has come up maybe 10 times the entire season, man. Like, I don't know if you checked out on baseball because of the rough start for the Reds, or was it, the comments where you're going to go? But, like, the Reds and David Bell have not really been a talking point this year because, I mean, they were bad last year, too. Obviously not as bad as this year, but they were just out of sight, out of mind this year, to be perfectly honest.
Well, when Brian Price was here with the Reds, and me and Mark Schlemmer, rest in peace, Mark Schlemmer, we would argue all the time. I always thought he was too hard on Brian Price, who I never argued that Brian Price was a good manager. I argued that I don't think we could say he's a bad manager, mainly because Brian Price took over, and when he had like Cueto and them, they were like, right there in the mix of things for a division title, right? They did have that second half collapse, but Brian Price only got 1 year with legitimate talent. Brian Price managed the next couple of seasons with just the skeleton of what was left of that Brandon Phillips and Todd Frazier and Jay Bruce and that go round, right?
Right.
So when Schlemmer would talk about how bad of a manager he was, and by the way, Schlemmer is more, he was more credible to judge a manager, right? Like his experience in baseball, he came from a baseball family. Man, I miss Schlemmer. But we would always go back and forth about that. I would just always say, you're saying, oh, he should have won more games with what? I don't think that's fair. I don't think you could take Dusty Baker, you take the best managers in baseball, given what the Reds had with Brian Price. They weren't winning baseball games. And I've always been consistent with that. I was so hard on David Bell to start because Brian Price was judged so much on wins and losses, and he had nothing. Then David Bell gets all of this talent. He gets Trevor Bauer. He gets Sonny Gray. He has Luis Castillo, right? They go and they get Mike Moustakas, and they go and they get Castellanos, and they go and get all these dudes, and he's not winning baseball games, and we're just making excuses for him. And I'm like, that's not fair. That's not right, because when you have talent, you're expected to win. But when Brian Price had no talent, he was expected to win and was judged based on not winning. So I'm doing the same thing with David Bell. Although David Bell's about to lose 100 games. Brian Price had way worse teams than this that never lost 100 games. That's a problem to me. I'm not really advocating for them to move on from David Bell. I don't think he's the solution, but I also don't think he's the problem. When this team puts talent on a roster and they go back to being a 500 ball club again, when they have above 500 expectations, then I'll be right back on David Bell's case. But it would not be fair to David Bell to put any blame on him this year. There's not a manager out there that could have done something different. And if winning 98 games is what would keep people happy or losing 98 games as opposed to losing 100 games keeps people happy, then you're a loser of a fan too. I just think this is a bad baseball team, and there's nothing that any manager in the history of baseball could do differently.
Talent rules the day.
At the end of the day, it does, to be honest with you. David Hochman, again, I get out, they pull me back in. The Browns are struggling because they are the Browns. No other reason. They got the talent. No, David, you don't understand how football works. If you don't have a starting quarterback and your whole defensive line's out, like if you take out Hendrickson and you take out Reeder, and Reeder's out, yes, but after Reeder, you still have Hendrickson, who, by the way, I was so wrong about Hendrickson. I really like him. That's who, that guy doesn't get talked about enough as far as one of the more dominant pass rushers in football. I will defend him on that. I thought I was wrong when I said that was a dumb get by the Bengals. The dude's been lights out ever since. But if you take him and Reeder and you take that whole defensive line away from the Bengals and put all backups in, watch how easy it is to score on the Bengals. Watch how ass they become. All right. It'll be quick. It's not, and that's not an excuse. That's the reality of it. Take Joe Burrow out, put Brandon Allen in. Watch how ass they become very quick. It's not that hard to figure out. And by the way, Jacoby Brissett better than Brandon Allen. Jacoby Brissett's playing solid. But David, you don't understand football. If your goal is to get a reaction out of me, you're kind of getting it. You're not doing as good a job as the folks in the first hour. All right, but let's be clear. Saying that the Browns, they're wasting talent. They do have the talent, and they're winning because of the talent that they have. But they're losing games because of the talent that they don't have. And that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day, Kev. So I think if I would have said that in the first hour, we could have probably had a more mature conversation. But I get why people don't want to hear about injuries. But Kev, you cannot take Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney, and you can't take all the guys on that D line and take them away and replace them with second string and third string dudes and practice squad guys and expect and we can't do the next man up thing. I bet the people that say that other than Kev have, I bet you, the folks who say that next man up thing all the time drive me nuts, because that's just a lazy way of saying that you don't really know who's sitting behind the starters. All right. Not you, because I know I work with you, but a lot of these guys like this David guy who don't know what the hell he's talking about. Oh, next man up. No, it doesn't work that way. I bet you're also the guy that drives around with the bumper sticker that says you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I'm not here to hear that. Common sense. You don't have a legit starting quarterback and you don't have a defensive line. You're not winning football games, period. And they're 2-2. And your team has a quarterback and has a defensive line. And guess what? Your team's 2-2. You need to focus on your team and not so much about mine. Thank you for coming along and playing along, though.
I think it's just a philosophy thing and how we view sports. You view it as hey, if the team is 100% healthy, this team is better than team X if they're 100%. But that's just not how it works. Everybody and every team goes through injury. And from a fan's perspective, at least from my perspective, at the end of the day, I'm rooting for the team and the black and yellow and everything like that. Obviously, I would love for TJ Watt to be out there. I mean, goodness gracious. Him and Minkah Fitzpatrick are a dynamic duo. They are playmakers for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they generate points for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But at the end of the day, I know that TJ Watt gets hurt a lot. I know he's going to miss time, and now this time he's going to miss a lot of time. But I don't care. I still want them to win. So when you play the Jets and you're up 10 points in the fourth quarter, I'm not thinking about, oh, man, if TJ Watt is out there, I'm like, all right, let's just close the game. And so from the Browns' perspective, they're not thinking all right, where's Clowney? Whereas Myles Garrett, we're winning the game. Let's get a stop. And like you talked about in hour one, man, 75 yards of rushing on 10 plays
in 5
minutes.
minutes.
I don't think I've ever heard that stat before
Without
in
a
the
pass.
NFL.
That's not, that, by the way, I call high school football every Friday night. We call a lot of Fairmont. The Firebirds, by the way, about to talk about Fairmont here in a moment. Love what, David Miller, the head coach, with that offensive scheme, it's not the most aesthetically pleasing, but their quarterback before last Friday night, okay, he had only 3 pass attempts all season.
Right.
He completed 4 of 6 passes, including the game-winning touchdown pass in the fourth quarter. Like, you don't see that you see that in high school. You don't see that in the NFL.
Right.
And I watched Fairmont beat the Browns on Sunday. It was ridiculous.
Even like when you're running the ball at that clip, and I mean, shoot, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I get that. But like even like a bootleg, because everybody's crashing down to stop the run, and then you have a athletic quarterback that sneak out the back end and pick up some yards, or a dump off to a tight end in the flat because he's wide open. They didn't even do that. They just said, you know what? They haven't stopped it yet. Let's just keep on doing it. It's almost like the Tecmo Bowl Madden approach. It was like, they haven't stopped it. Let's keep on
and that
going.
Was smart. And I give the Falcons credit because they only had 30 yards rushing in the first half. They didn't run the ball that much. They did a lot of passing in the first half. And to be fair, Mariota, who was just a bum on downs one on first and second down, but my God, it was 3rd and 12. He'd complete a pass. Wide open dude. It'd be 3rd and 16. Wide open guy. Or wide open pass. And complete wide open dude. It's infuriating. And some of those issues weren't even defensive. Like, the Browns have defensive problems that even if their defensive line was there, I would still be screaming like I was in the issues against the Steelers, although they beat the Steelers. They still had the issues they had against the Jets, which just allowed Flacco, who diced him up for 300 yards, by the way. The defense is not, they're not struggling just because the DL was out yesterday. They lost yesterday because the defensive line was out yesterday. That's I'm not going to steer away from that. That is the truth. However, that doesn't mean that they get the DL back and their defensive woes are gone. No, the guys, that scheme is not working. Their secondary is not good. And to Brad May's point, everyone tell Brad Mays happy birthday, by the way.
Happy born day.
Today is not his born day. We're mean as a big group of friends. He cooked all of us dinner for his birthday. It is what it is, but who needs enemies when you got friends like us? I just say, but Brad says not only the defensive line, but the Anthony Walker, situation, of course, he's out for the year.
Yeah.
That was a very underrated injury that we didn't talk a lot about that when that happened. So there's that.
And another thing about Mariota, he completed only 7 passes.
Only 7.
But he threw for like $140. That's like 20 yards of completion.
That means for 14
chunk
passes,
plays.
If he would have completed 14 passes, he's going all Joe Flacco on the Browns defense, throwing for 300 freaking yards. So to be fair, I am critical of my team. I know my team's issues stem on the defensive end because even if they had Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett yesterday, I'm not guaranteeing that they win, but they don't lose the way that they lost. That's all I'm going to say about that. And as far as Jacoby Brissett's concerned, Jacoby Brissett looks good when he doesn't have to be the guy that wins you that game. You know what I mean? Like, let's go back against the Steelers. He didn't have to lead a game-winning drive late in that game, right, Kev? Like, so when he's playing well and 2 touchdowns, he's throwing for, getting, Amari Cooper 100 yards. He's playing fantastic. The defense gets that scoop and score late to make it 29-14 or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as long Jacoby Brissett does what you need him to do. But in a close game, I don't like our chances with Jacoby Brissett because when you need him to make a throw, we're in trouble. That's always the problem. Jacoby Brissett's good, but their issues are bad. Brandon Kelty, I have a question. Now, he says, the Bengals fan here, he was totally wrong on Hendrickson. He wanted to keep Carl Lawson. That's where I was. Carl Lawson was great for the Bengals. The Bengals moved on from him right on time. It was unfortunate because Carl Lawson went to the Jets right after they had let him go. He had that season-ending injury last year in the preseason. That was horrible. Brandon, help me out. What's Carl Lawson doing now? Is he having a good season?
He had a sack versus the Steelers yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what kind of season he's had, like a good season. I'm glad he's playing. But I promise you this, but the Bengals defense, which I said they were stupid for moving on from Carl Lawson. I was wrong on that because Hendrickson has just been lights freaking out. So see, Bengals fans, I'm not all that bad. First hour, I was lethal. Look out. No one was safe in hour number 1, not even Kev. Kev was trying to play nice. I was like, well, you're wrong, Kevin. Here's why. So
Kenner.
there you go. Just another day at the office. 518-1410. That's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. We'll talk about a conversation with Keith Byers regarding the health of players. How healthy do you have to be from a doctor's perspective to be cleared to play? Tua was cleared to play. Tua was cleared by a bajillion doctors. He was cleared to play. So why are we getting mad at a team from the week before? Like, what did we miss here? Talk about that. Buckeyes perspective, Jackson Smith and Jigba. He was deemed healthy enough to play against Toledo and then hasn't played since. Well, was he 100% against Toledo or not? I was curious in my conversation with Byers, being a former high-level D1 athlete for the Buckeyes, of course, who battled injuries. Just because a doctor clears you to play doesn't necessarily mean you are 100%, or does it? We'll talk about that to close out the show when we come back.
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
This is Doug Ute, Executive Director of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. High school coaches can be the biggest influence on kids having a positive experience in sports. Sports set the foundation for life lessons that remain long after playing days are over.
This is Gene Smith. Please join Light Sports at The Ohio State University and the Ohio High School Athletic Association as we partner with the Susan Crown Exchange on its Million Coaches Challenge. Get involved and learn more at go.osu.edu/CoachBI.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy inherited properties, vacant homes, rentals, commercial properties, and apartment buildings. Give us a call today and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
At Harley-Davidson of Xenia, the atmosphere is positively electric as we look to the future. Our name may have changed, but Harley-Davidson of Xenia has been locally owned since 1984. Under our new management, the staff in store are buzzing to get you set up for the open road. Whether you're shopping for merchandise, a new bike, or just need some maintenance on your current ride, Harley-Davidson of Xenia is here for you. Visit us online to learn more and to place a reservation on your new bike. hdofxenia.com.
What QC Kinetics is doing for people here is nothing short of amazing. I'm talking real lasting relief from joint pain. Hey, it's Keith Byers. QC Kinetics is a nation leader in exciting new pain treatments with advanced regenerative medicine, non-surgical alternatives. If you're living with joint pain from injury or arthritis, don't let them tell you steroids and pain meds and surgery are your only options. QC Kinetics uses regenerative treatments that can restore and repair damaged tissue. Maybe you've been diagnosed with bone-on-bone arthritis and been told you need a replacement. Call QC Kinetics now for an alternative way to deal with the pain. These amazing protocols work with pain caused by injury as well, like a torn meniscus or a rotator cuff. Call QC Kinetics now. Don't keep living with that pain. Learn how regenerative medicine can give you your life back with no drugs and no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 937-936-0325. That's QC Kinetics. 937-936-0325.
Hey, Buckeye fans, as the official wing sponsor of your Ohio State Buckeyes, Roosters is giving away 12 trips for two to this year's Buckeye Bowl game. Each trip comes complete with airfare, hotel, gift bag, and 2 tickets to the big game. One bowl prize winner will be chosen each week, along with other cool Roosters weekly prizes. So register every week at roosterswings.com. Roosters, a fun casual joint and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Official contest rules at roosterswings.com.
Hi, this is Eddie Sorrell, Body Shop Manager at Germain Honda of Beaver Creek. Our technicians have over 125 years of total experience. That means we can repair your vehicle correctly and efficiently. So when you need a dependable body shop, we're here. And we repair all makes and models with new state-of-the-art equipment to get you back on the road quickly. Plus, we offer loaner cars during service and free estimates. Stop by and see us. Germain Honda, Beaver Creek, State Route 35, just east of 675 between Xenia and Beaver Creek.
Have you heard? $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring Class A CDL drivers for home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight, with brand new equipment and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, company 401k. Plus, they're now hiring recent truck driving school graduates. Apply today. Online at CordellTransportation.com. Driven to succeed.
You want more local content from Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM? Make sure you subscribe to the WING 1410 Dayton YouTube channel, where you can watch all your local shows live, or go back and rewatch previous episodes of The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, The Keith Byers Show, Talking Out Loud with Sully, and more. On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
Get ready, Ohio. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming to the Buckeye State. And to kick things off, you can get started with $100 in free bets as an early sign-up bonus. All you have to do is use my promo code KINNER, KINNER. So if you haven't done so, make sure you download the FanDuel Sports app. And when you register for your account, you enter the promo code KINNER, and you'll get $100 that you can put in your account for free and free bets. So take advantage of that. That way, starting January 1st, when it goes live here in the state of Ohio, especially here locally, you could start placing those bets and already have $100, to be able to use. So again, just download FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. It's safe, it's secure, and super easy to use. Dayton, this is your chance to get on the action. Join today with my promo code KINNER, KINNER. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. I'm Justin Kinner. He's Kev Nash. Only a couple more minutes before we close out the show. We have Reds baseball coming up here later on tonight. Yes, I know we are almost to the finish line. But I've been in touch with the Cincinnati Reds. My name was mentioned, I guess, in the owners meeting today. I did not make friends up there, I guess. But nonetheless, we'll be a part of Reds Fest. Pretty jacked about that. Reds Fest coming back on December 3rd. I mean, it's going to be back the weekend of December 3rd, but we'll be live out there. Pretty jacked about that as far as that's concerned. So there you go.
Kenner making waves.
It is. You know how you know you made it?
Do tell.
When you got a stalker. And you know who was stalking me today? I'm getting gas, minding my own business, ready to start my day, to attack the day and have a great day. My friend Jesse. He was stalking me at the gas station. What up, Jesse? How are you, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? How you doing today?
Chilling.
Not too bad. I got a full tank of gas and a stalker all in one day.
Hey, that's what I try to do. I got you on YouTube or Bluetooth or something like that. Yeah, not YouTube. That would be even weirder. I do have you on YouTube too, though.
That's a good thing.
But actually, right after I seen you, I was listening to a rival sports station. The initials would be DP. I don't know if I'm allowed to say DP on the air. It's a sports acronym, not the other thing. But I was listening to them, and they were talking about the AFC North. And he said that it was a trash division, and that's the first I've heard anybody call the AFC North a trash division.
I don't think it's as good. Really I don't know if I disagree with that. I thought it would be better. The Browns are who had thought there would be a lot of ups and a lot of downs. They're just very inconsistent. And then you add the injuries in; they look even worse than I anticipated. The Bengals, I think they're okay, but I need to see it against a good team. But I don't know if Baltimore is good. Baltimore gets a lot of praise because Lamar Jackson's a very popular player amongst the media, but it's just one of those where I don't know if this Baltimore team's good. Harbaugh coaches them out of wins. And then Pittsburgh's just way worse than we had anticipated. Maybe this division's not as strong as we thought.
Well, I was kind of thinking that you guys are getting Deshaun Watson here shortly, and Kenny Pickett's now came in. We know he's going to be better than Trubisky. Obviously, the Bengals have figured out their woes, and Baltimore's going to be Baltimore. But saying it's a trash division, I still think they're one of the top 3 divisions in the league. I really do.
I could see that. It's kind of like when you say the AFC West, not you, but people say the AFC West is so bad. I'm like, the AFC West is not. I think right now it doesn't look good. Like the AFC North doesn't look good. I got to give it another month before I can have a true opinion on either. I kind of agree. I'm not ready to say the AFC North is trash. It has underachieved. To
Definitely
this
a
point.
bad week. I'll tell you that.
It's been a bad week and a bad month. And I think the same could be said about the AFC West, but I think that the Chiefs kind of shook off the rust a little bit this past Sunday, so we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I agree with you on that.
All right. Well, I appreciate talking to you guys. I'll see you tomorrow, Justin.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Take care, man. All right, folks, good stuff. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Appreciate all the calls today. Bengals fans, for any listeners I lost today because I unleashed on you, just know I'm not sorry, and it's your fault. But, you know, it is what it is. When Kev Nash posts on our Facebook page something about the Browns, don't be hoodaying it all up. We post the Bengals win on that night. I didn't go on there and say, oh, yeah, look, you guys needed to beat another backup quarterback to win. No,
you did that on TV.
I did that on TV. There's places for everything, which, by the way, you can catch me every Friday morning at 8:15 with Nathan Edwards and Elise Coulter. Just saying. I saved it for TV. Dayton 24/7 now, every Friday, 8:15. Just saying. But no, when Kev Nash posts the Bengals stuff, I don't go in there and be like, oh, no. Because that's for the cats. That's for the meows. That's for you guys, the Bengals fans. So don't be hijacking the Browns post with your hooday crap. Yeah, beat another backup quarterback, and you're talking smack because the team with the backup quarterback didn't win a game yesterday? While your starting quarterback, awesome, amazing, future MVP guy, what? Needed full 4 quarters to beat? What? Just saying.
You're going to be like, he needed a whole first half to beat so-and-so. That's what's next.
All right, folks. Have a good night. We'll do this again tomorrow. Until tomorrow, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM.